welcome to another night of prize fighting boxing. Presented by Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions. Sponsored by Cerveza Tecate Born Bold. Casa Mexico Tequila, it's in the taste. And Adriana's Insurance, es para todos. From a boxing classic in Southern California, the Velasco Theater in LA, California, USA. 6 rounds of boxing in the featherweight division. Sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission, Commissioner John Curvelli, Executive Officer Andy Foster, Supervisor Sean Wells, your timekeeper Willie Arriola, physicians in ringside Doctors Rhonda Rand, Robert Ruelas, and Kelly Tucker. Your 3 judges scoring this bout in ringside: Carla Kais, Lou Moret, and Jerry Cantu. And when the bell rings, your 3rd man, Jack Reese. Introducing to you first, the fighter standing in the blue corner, wearing gray trunks with blue trim. His official weight 125.6 pounds. As a professional, he stands with a record of 2 wins against 3 losses, and 2 of those wins coming by the fast way of knockout. Hailing out of Los Angeles, California, Emmanuel Manny Castro. And his opponent across the ring, standing in the red corner, wearing white trunks with red and green. His official weight 125.2 pounds. As a professional, he stands undefeated with 5 victories against no losses, and 2 of his victories coming by the fast way of knockout. From Las Vegas, Nevada, Francisco Esparza. And here with the final instructions, referee Jack Reese.
All right, guys, I gave you both instructions in the dress room. Just want to remind you to listen and obey my commands at all time. Protect yourself at all time. Your trunks are good. Fight hard, and fight clean. Good luck to both of you. Hi. Hi. 1 minute, we're just waiting for the TV. 1 second, we're just waiting.
That's a request from Evan. It's Evan music.
Round 2.
Sube la mano. Dame el otro guante, mijo. Dame el otro guante. Ya está bien todo. Ya traes retrocediendo, sube tu mano, compréndelo, fíjate bien, usa tu jab. Levántalo con el doble, estás bien.
ESPN Thursday Night Fights. Jason Quigley takes on Glenn Tapia. Main event going down this month, March 23rd, Thursday. ESPN Fights. Oscar de la Hoya. Randy Caballero is back. He'll be taking on Victor Proa. But the main event, March 23rd, all the way live, Fantasy Springs Casino, and live on ESPN. Quigley, Tapia, get your tickets.
Has trabajado muy duro, mijo. Tú estás bien, mijo. No estás cansado. Escúchame bien, despiértate. Estamos en la guerra, ¿ok, mijo? No se me quede dormido. Saque el pinche poder. Agarra aire. Agarra aire. Agarra aire. Tienes que rematarlo. Tienes que ganar estos dos rounds,
Se la
mijo.
está regalando. Este se lo regalaste.
Tienes que tirar round. Ya lo traías en el tercero, hijo. A mí no me importa que ese güey sea un calador. ¡Estás fuerte! ¡Vamos, Cisco!
Trabaja el round. Tap forward, Cisco. Tap forward. Si no tiras, ya la regalaste. Si no lo noqueas,
tienes que clavarlo, hijo.
A ver.
Ponte trucha. Ponle ahí vaselina. Tienes que pegarle el exhaustazo.
ya la regalaste si no lo noqueas.
Thank God you got those. You're gonna be there May 6th, T-Mobile Arena, all the way live on HBO pay-per-view. Make sure you order Canelo Chavez Jr. May 6th.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is round number 6, your final round.
fight, huh? Great fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Jerry Cantu scores it 59-55, and judges Carla Cais and Lou Moret have scored the same, 60-54. For your winner by the way of unanimous decision, and still undefeated, Francisco Esparza.
Congratulations, Francisco Esparza. And of course, shout out to the Rose Fight Factory in Las Vegas, Nevada. Two-time world champion. El Veros, Fernando Vargas is in the house.
One more. These guys, cameras blocked them.
Up next, ladies and gentlemen, Marvin Cabrera. Fantasy Springs Resort Casino, March 23rd, ladies and gentlemen, Quigley, Italia. The Irish fighter Jason Quigley takes on Glenn Tapia. Thursday night fight on ESPN, all brought to you by Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions. Get your tickets.
Cello.
Why do we have a... There's no headset for this one? Okay, yeah, we're just throwing it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because that way he and Steve...
Yeah.
Dr. Thomas Taylor. Introducing to you first the fighter standing in the blue corner, wearing green trunks with red trim. His official weight 156.2 pounds. As a professional, he stands with 2 victories against no losses, 1 draw, and 2 of those victories coming by the fast way of knockout. Hailing out of Elkhart, Indiana, Sadala Altamemi. And his his opponent across the ring, standing in the red corner, wearing white trunks with green and red. His official weight, 157.6 pounds. Professional. He stands with 2 victories against no losses, and 2 of his victories coming by the fast way of knockout. Representing LA, California, USA, Marvin Cabrera. And to give out the final instructions, here is Thomas Taylor.
Boxer chief second. Boxer chief second. Guys, belt line's good here, belt line's good here. Giving your instructions in the dressing room. Protect yourselves at all times, listen to my commands. Touch them up, back to your corner, back to your corner. Good. Jerry, Jerry. Boxer good, boxer good, John. Good, John. Good. Got him off these, got him off these, got him off these. Box, box.
You got to get this. You gave him that round. Now, you seen everything he's out. Now, let's get out there. Don't lose your, get out there. Get that jab going. You throw one and he's counting on that. Jab, like I told you. Throw a double jab. Come back with that right hand. Okay? Double jab, right hand. Come back with the hook. Got it? That's 1, 2. Got to go 1, 2. Stay down. Don't let it push you back. Get bigger and stronger. Come on.
Tranquilo, tranquilo, en el medio, que la boca,
Guys, hands are free. Guys, hands are free.
Get your punches going. Get your punches going. I can tell you what's going to happen. He will. I can tell you what's going to happen. Where you at? You gonna show up tonight? Where you at? You gonna show up tonight? You gonna show up tonight? Let's do this, man. Tonight? Let's do this, man.
Izquierda, open izquierda, pum, pum, mueve tu hija, píntalo, izquierda, open izquierda, que está el cuerpo, doble mano de, ok. El cuarto, muy bien, muy bien.
Seconds out, pop reset. Seconds out, pop reset. Stay right here. Pop it. Stay right here. Pop it. Right here. Willie's got to start it. Willie's got to start it. Way too much punishment. Taking way too much more away.
This bout comes to an end officially at 2 minutes 35 seconds in round number 3. Declaring your winner by the way of knockout from LA, California, Marvin
Congratulations, Marvin. Up next, ladies and gentlemen, 100% knockout ratio, undefeated, Nico Babyface Dante. begin super middleweights. Making his way into the ring, representando Mazatlán, Sinaloa, Mexico, Alejandro Osuna.
The following is a production of Golden Boy Media and Entertainment.
Downtown Los Angeles, another edition of the LA Fight Club coming your way. Angel Bajado gets into the ring. Alexis Rocha, 19-year-old from Santana, and the main event tonight, Mexico against the Philippines, Chipa Gonzalez. The main event.
Presented by Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions, sponsored by Cerveza Tecate Born Bold, Casa Mexico Tequila is in the taste, and Adriana's Insurance es para todos. Your three judges scoring, sus tres jueces, Carla Cais, Dr. Romero, and Jerry Cantu. And your third man at the bell, Jack Reese. Introducing to your first, the fighter standing in the blue corner, wearing black and silver. His official weight, 162.2 pounds. Professionally, he stands with 4 victories against 2 losses, and 2 of his victories coming by the fast way of knockout. Representing Mazatlán, Sinaloa, Mexico, Alejandro Osuna. And his opponent across the ring is standing in the red corner, wearing white trunks with gold and black. His official weight, 163.8 pounds. Professionally, he stands undefeated with 3 victories, no losses, and his 3 victories coming by the fast way of knockout. Representing Miami, Florida, Nico Babyface Valdez. And to give out the final instructions, here is Jack Reese.
Okay, guys, I gave you both instructions. I just want to remind you, listen and obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Fight hard and fight clean. Your trunks are fine.
Jack Reese, the third man in the ring. You see the tail of the tape.
And we take a look at the way they both stand up. And actually, there is a bit of a typo. According to you, Alejandro Osuna is 30 years old.
Minor details. Minor details. 20 is the new 30, or 30 is the new 20. Regardless, Beth Duran, Steve Cam, we are underway. 4 rounds in the super middleweight division between Nico Valdez and Alejandro Osuna. Valdez with the blonde hair, yes it is, dyed. He's out of Miami. The babyface assassin? No. Babyface Nico Valdez. You know, babyface assassin, great names of other fighters in past years. Valdez, extremely popular on social media. You will see him on Instagram and on Snapchat and on Twitter. That's actually where he was discovered by Oscar De La Hoya. We saw his workout videos. He sent some scouts down to Miami and check him out and say, hey, this kid's the real deal. He's now 3-0 with 3 KOs.
Beto, we mentioned Alejandro Osuna with the record of 4-2. This is noteworthy. In Nico Valdez's prior 3 fights, 0-4 combined record. So this is the first, I guess, semi-live body he's faced in his professional career.
Well, the last time Nico Valdez was in the Belasco, he was not getting hit like he just did. He actually destroyed his opponent in the first round. He's getting hit to the body. Osuna from Mazatlan, Mexico. He said he's coming to fight. Second time he's fighting in the United States is Osuna from Mazatlan, Sinaloa, Mexico. Said he saw video of Valdez on Ring TV. He liked our commentary, by the way. He does speak English. Said he didn't see anything that really stood out from Valdez.
Keep this in mind, Osuna 4-2, both losses were of the stoppage variety, but Beto, I like his approach. Listen, he's certainly the heavy, prohibitive underdog tonight, but he's going to empty the bucket early. One thing we have not seen from Valdez, and given the matchmaking he's received early on, is any type of real professional resistance. I think this is the most aggression he's faced thus far in his early professional life.
Valdez, 23 years old, a minute to go in the opening round. Hit with another right. Body work from Osuna.
One thing that's noticeable about Osuna, he's going to throw a lot of right hands, but it's a wide looping right hand. And Valdez, as long as he keeps that left glove right above his chin area, he should be able to parry and deflect most of those shots.
Valdez in the Miami area. Hurricane fan, Steve. Points with you.
Always about the you. And right now, I'll be honest, in terms of matchmaking, this is probably like playing Bethune-Cookman. He should be able to win this fight relatively easily. But Osuna, I think, really has actually made it pretty difficult here in round number 1.
Good opening round.
Ese güey tiene un culón al cuerpo. Varias veces. Agarra para desde abajo, desde abajo. Lo lastimaste varias veces.
And we take a look at some of the action from the opening stanza. Osuna certainly tried very hard at times with his offensive salvos. Not a lot of precision or technique. The good, hard, clean punches, for the most part, in round number 1, landed by that young man, Nico Valdez.
Pedro Otoño is his trainer.
No pasivo, acelera. Ya, Pérez, ya.
We'll translate that for you, jab.
The most basic, simple punch in boxing. You know, you talk about his training situation, Beto, in Miami, Florida. There used to be a time a long time ago with the Dundee brothers, most notably Muhammad Ali at the 5th Street Gym, historic place. There was an active fight culture. I'm not so sure that really exists anymore in the 305. I just wonder about the quality of work that Valdez gets on a daily basis.
You mentioned the 5th Street Gym. That's actually where Nico Valdez used to train at. He recently opened up his own gym. No, you can't buy a membership. It's a private gym just for him. Steve, you're going to love the name. It's called The Crib. Not MTV Cribs. Take a guess why.
Because that's his house.
No, because he's the baby face. So the crib, like the rattle, the baby inside the crib.
Well, you could say he's also being fed Gerbers early on in his pro career. Once
No
again,
solid food for him, huh?
Yes, as Bernard Hopkins told me long ago about David Reed when they talked about a fight early in his career, said, Kim, you don't feed steak to a baby.
Nico Valdez, Cuban father, Belgian mother, was at one point in his life 5'5", 200 pounds. That was in junior high. He said he was getting bullied and he tried jiu-jitsu, and he was watching a Manny Pacquiao fight and heard how much money Pacquiao was getting paid. He said, let's go to boxing. Here he is as a professional in his 4th fight with Golden Boy.
Beto, for this fight, he is technically a super middleweight, which has a weight limit of 168. Just sizing him up, I don't really know if he really fits this weight class, if he'd be better served at 154, perhaps even 160. I think that's something he's going to have to figure out as the matchmaking becomes a little bit more advanced going into the near future.
coming. Yes, Linus, we saw all your earlier tweets.
Boy, Linus is the Iron Man. I literally think he's watched every single round of this series. And by the way, tonight we have the Tecate on Ice celebrating our 2-year anniversary.
Happy anniversary. Will Wright, David and Scott Tatro, and everybody involved with Golden Boy Media and Entertainment. Little project. You started with the van. Now they have a truck. This is the boxing guru. He has the t-shirt coming, checking in, day one. Brian Scalia.
Scalia, UCN Live, one of the bright minds of boxing. Yes, absolute bird dog.
Watching us in Western Canada. I love when he tweets in Spanish, throws me off when a Canadian speaking Espanol. The shots landed. Big weekend of boxing, kicking it off for you right now. The Velasco Theater in downtown Los Angeles, that's where they're at right now. Final second of the second. Two winded fighters here.
Returns here to downtown LA, the Velasco Theater. LA Fight Club. Get your tickets on your way out right here, Velasco box office.
And we take a look at some of the action from round number 2. That's a straight right hand from perhaps the best one he's thrown technically early on. Most of this round, it was Nico Valdez just slowly, steadily coming forward and closing the gap on his opponent. He's probably up 2-0 after 2, Beto.
Scheduled for 4 rounds. Later on, we could be joined by an animal, Jason Quigley, who headlines ESPN on March 23rd at the Fancy Springs Resort and Casino in Indio, California. The first series on ESPN with Golden Boy Promotions. He'll be taking on Derek Tapia. He'll be joining us later in the broadcast. Tonight is the man from Donegal, Ireland. Right now, third round of action. Nico Valdez, Alejandro Osuna. Working towards our main event tonight of Chimpa Gonzalez and Romero DUNO. Nico Valdez said he's very popular on Instagram, yes. He calls himself the self-proclaimed Justin Bieber of boxing, as Marco 311 reminds me. And when you speak with Nico Valdez, very charismatic young man, mentioned to me yesterday, like, Nico, come on, you're gonna grow up, you got the Bieber name? He's like, Beto, I'm the Peter Pan of boxing, I'm never growing up.
My reaction is Jiminy Cricket. Really.
Tee Steve up and let him go.
Well, you know, he's going to have to make a decision here. Is he going to be serious about the game of boxing, or is it a vehicle for other things? You know, the athlete that comes to mind where it was much more sizzled at stake. You remember a very famous tennis player was Anna Kournikova.
Oh, yeah.
Now, she was very good looking. She had a very unique look. You know what she never did, though? Never won a tournament. There really wasn't that much substance to her career. Right now, it's really too early to understand exactly where Nico Valdez is going with this. You mentioned the last round that he was already winded. I find that to be alarming, that in a 2-round fight where it's not exactly the fastest pace, that he's already breathing pretty deeply. And you see what's going on here, Beto. His technique is already starting to break down. There's that old saying from Vince Lombardi that fatigue makes cowards of us all. Well, in this sport, what it really does, it starts to really take away your fundamentals.
Nico Valdez dedicated himself to boxing. His opponent, Alejandro Osuna, 4-2 from Mazatlan, Sinaloa. He's a marketing director, social media strategist for a firm in Culiacan. As you said, boxing is fun. It's my hobby.
Well, Beto, maybe after this fight he could help maybe work for Nico Valdez.
Yeah. Well, it just shows his hobby. So Osuna's looking good conditioning-wise. Yeah. Valdez, who only has one thing to do, which is train and make weight. Actually, has two things. But, yeah, we'll talk about weight later on. You know, plenty of weight talk around here. Osuna, he had about 20 amateur fights as a kid.
And that's not really all that rare. A lot of Mexicans actually learn on the job as they go. Orlando Salido being, I think, the quintessential example of a guy that learned on the job and really evolved as a fighter throughout the years. You know, Nico Valdez, the one thing I do notice about him, he does have fairly heavy hands. He socks a little bit with that left hand. Doesn't really move his feet all that well underneath him as he really comes forward with that left cross.
You see some of the body work showing the results on the side of the Mexican Alejandro Osuna. A big welt on the left side of Osuna. The left, looks like he's slapping it up.
Yeah.
And he gets hit with one. Lands with that right. Final seconds of the third round. Nico Valdez, Alejandro Osuna.
Este round se lo ganaste. Agarra aire, agarra aire, que es el último ya.
Now we take a look at some of the action from round number 3. Probably another one put in the bank for the southpaw out of Miami, Nico Valdez. Osuna started out quickly here, but his work rate has waned the last 2 rounds as we head into the 4th and final inning. Beto?
4th and final round for Nico Valdez, the babyface, the Peter Pan of boxing, Steve Kim's guy, because he's from the U in Miami. He has been tested in this fight. Been hit. Valdez turned professional April of last year. A first round KO, then he had a 4th round stoppage. In his last fight against Willie Williams, a 1st round stoppage. See if he can end the night.
Beto, to put this into perspective, the last bout for Osuna was December 12th. He was knocked out and beat by Rudy Puga, local prospect out of the Southern California area. I get the sense this fight will see the distance. And I think it's valuable experience for Valdez, but again, are we seeing the technical improvement you expect 4 fights in?
And left hand by Valdez. Osuna like...
Yeah, that seemed to be like a 2-handed slap.
Yeah. Those Three Stooges.
I think Osuna's more irritated than impressed by Valdez, to be quite honest with you.
He's able to land that left, but Osuna blocks it for the most part. They are deflected. You mentioned, Steve, going back to Miami. How much of sparring is he really getting down there?
Listen, I've seen a lot of fighters. I believe this more and more. You're only going to be as good as your sparring. Now, these sessions don't need to be gym wars. There is a fine line between getting good work and actually damaging yourself. But especially for young fighters, I have a theory. I talked to, who is it? Mick Conlon, who's making his pro debut next week.
Oh, good left by Valdez. He's trying to finish this fight right now. Osuna's hanging tough with him. Jack Reese right on top looking.
And Beto, you see some of the greenness of Valdez. Most of those punches actually miss. He needs to just take a step back and actually place his shots. Be a little bit more deliberate with them and try to work more on accuracy than actual volume. But I tell you one thing, Osuna looks very worn out with about a minute to go.
And you were saying Mick Conlon,
well, Mick Conlon specifically moved out here, like the guy sitting next to us, Jason Quigley, for the work, the type of daily work you're going to get 6 to 8 weeks before a fight. And you know what?
And that is it. It is over. Jack Reese jumps in. Nico Valdez, with 40 seconds to go in the fight, ends it for Alejandro Osuna.
Sit down.
Kid from Miami is now 4-0 with 4 stoppages, but he had to work for it tonight.
No, he did. He actually got a little bit of professional resistance. Osuna started off very quickly with his punch output, but then he was slowly worn down by the strength and I guess the advantage in power of that man, Nico Valdez. But I think certainly this is a work in progress for this young man out of Miami. And this is the finishing salvo here. That was a good body shot. Good right hook downstairs. Straight shot over the top, and then Jack Reese at that point basically told him, young man, you ran out of gas.
And Beto Duran, Steve Kim, we've mentioned the man's going to join us the rest of the broadcast tonight, making his broadcast debut, suited and booted, as Pitchink tweeted. Jason El Animal Quigley. Now, you know Nico a little bit. What do you think of his 4 rounds tonight?
Nico did exactly what was expected of him tonight. I just came in there in the last 2 rounds, so, you know, I thought he did what he had to do tonight against an opponent that it looked like that he was meant to get out of there early on, and that's exactly what he did. You know, it might have took him a few rounds, but those rounds will definitely stand by him, and you know, it was nice obviously for himself confidence-wise to get the stoppage in the last round.
Jason, take us through this last sequence right here.
Well, obviously, Nico Valdez's opponent's very hurt right now, and you know, Nico's following up, as you said
Ladies and
yourselves.
gentlemen, referee Jack Reese stops this contest officially with 2 minutes, 16 seconds in round number 4. Declaring your winner by the way of knockout. The hard-hitting knockout artist, the babyface, Nico Valdez.
23-year-old Valdez is now 4-0, 4 KOs. A busy weekend of boxing all over the United States. And Joel De La Hoya checks in from upstate New York. He said, of course, don't forget Diego De La Hoya on the Lemieux card. And we did see, I was watching the weigh-in. Diego De La Hoya looked good at 123 pounds. He'll be fighting in Verona, New York. And we'll see more replays of Valdez in that 4th round. Beth Duran, Steve Kim, and Jason Quigley, who's along for the rest of the ride. A little different when you have to talk, huh? And
Definitely is. I think there's more pressure on me right now than there is actually getting into the ring, because when I get into the ring, I know exactly what I'm doing.
Well, when we get up here, we don't know what we're doing, as you can tell.
You guys are my sparring partners right now.
I saw you spar today. I want nothing to do with that. Now, Jason, you're joining us March 23rd. You are the main event in Indio, California on ESPN. Golden Boy's new adventure with ESPN. You take on hard-hitting veteran Glenn Tapia. First of all, a few years ago, you were just a kid from Donegal who were just happy to get a manager and somebody to talk to you. Now the main event. How cool is that?
Well, that's something special. As you said, Beto, you know, I come from a very small area back at home in Donegal, my hometown in Ballybofey, and, you know, to be coming from fighting in leisure centres back there on amateur bills to be now headlining out here in LA on my first main event live on ESPN and for my first belt, the NABF middleweight title, you know, it's a great honour and it's a great privilege for myself and also my family and friends.
Jace.
One more. See, you had a question for Steve?
Jason, how do you reconcile this? The Glenn Tapia that we saw last year against David Lemieux. Are you preparing for the Glenn Tapia of, let's say, 2013?
I'm preparing for the best possible Glenn Tapia, because this Glenn Tapia is at a stage in his career where he's coming off a few defeats. This is his chance. He's still young enough. He's still got the talent of back up onto a high level again. You know, Glenn Tapia has been to levels that I haven't been at yet, and he's also fought fighters that I haven't fought yet at that level. You know, he's fought a former world champion and a tough fighter in David Lemieux, and he might have got put out of there early, you know what I mean, but he's still a very experienced fighter, and I'm preparing for the best Glenn Tapia possible come March 23rd.
And there you see Angel Bojado, John Leon. That'll be the next fight coming up at the top of the hour at 7 o'clock. LA time, 10 o'clock Pacific, and who knows what time in Bali Buffet, but they'll figure it out there. But we'll right there.
Of course, it's ranked number 2 by the super bantamweight in the world by the WBC. I don't know if Ed Pedros is going to be over there, but he's in the house right now. 2-time world champion, Ed Pedros, Fernando Vargas. Want to remind the fight fans that tomorrow, HBO Boxing After Dark, Curtis Demon takes on David Lemieux. Along with other great fights, HBO Boxing After Dark, Turning Stone, Casino, and it's all brought to you by Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions. Also make sure to get your tickets for March 23rd.
The following is a production of Golden Boy Media and Entertainment.
Downtown Los Angeles skyline on a Friday night. That white building, that's City Hall. Tonight, a couple blocks away from there, Angel Mojado gets into the ring. Our co-feature, Alexis Rocha from Santana, California. And our main event, Christian Chipa Gonzalez takes on Filipino Romero DUNO. That's next, downtown Los Angeles. Oh, the freeway's moving on a Friday. That means they're going to Belasco. They're ready for the 2-year anniversary of the LA Fight Club. An edition that sells out every single time, and young fighters make a name for themselves, and they get new fans. It's Christian Chipa Gonzalez. He's fought here a lot. It's the second time in his career he's the main event. He takes on tough Filipino Romero DUNO. At 8 rounds in our main event. Then Alexis Rocha from Orange County, Santana, California to be exact. 19 years old. He takes on Long Island's Marcus Beckford. 6 rounds in the super welterweight division. And it all opens up with a couple fighters are 1-0, trying to figure out where their career is going to go. 4 rounds in the middleweight division. Angel Mojado against Colombia's John Leon. The Belasco Theater is ready for you tonight alongside Steve Kim from UCN Live and Boxing Scene, one of the longtime boxing scribes around there. He likes to tweet every now and then. Send him some tweets tonight. I'm Beto Duran, joined by Golden Boy's undefeated fighter Jason El Animal Quigley from Donegal, Ballybuffet, Ireland, who will be headlining March 23rd on the ESPN show at the Fantasy Springs Resort and Casino against Glenn Tapia. Thank you for joining us tonight. Send us the tweets all night long. We love interacting with you. Our main event tonight, a fighter who the first time he stepped into the Belasco, he was dropped in the first round, came back to get the victory, and he stopped his opponent in the 6th. And Steve King, you wrote extensively about 21-year-old Christian Chipa Gonzalez this week.
It was on March 6, 2015 at this very same venue that he quite frankly looked more like a suspect than a prospect, and he certainly would not have been put on any honor rolls. But tonight, he could graduate with a big, emphatic victory over what could be his most dangerous opponent. 7 of his last 9 bouts have been here at the Belasco Theater. If he wins tonight, as expected, we may not see him again. Again, bigger and better things could be in store for young Chipa Gonzalez with a record of 16-0, 14 stoppages.
And that was the last time he was in the ring on the undercard of Bernard Hopkins and Joe Smith. His opponent, Romero DUNO from General Santos City, the Philippines. Watching some footage, great job by our crack staff finding this footage of him, of DUNO. He's 12-1, and Jason Quigley, you know what it's like to leave your country and fight somewhere else. This is the first time that Romero DUNO is in the United States. A different setting for him. When you go into somebody else's backyard, it's got to be tough.
Of course, without a doubt. You know, it's going to be very important to see how he reacts to the American crowd, the American fans, and obviously it's going to be very hostile for him, as in Chimpa's home yard, and this is going to be a very big night for Chipa Gonzalez.
And rest assured, the lighting at the Belasco Theater is much better than it was in that venue.
Hey, we've seen, Steve, you've covered fights at a swap meet in downtown Los Angeles, so lighting is a bonus. 19-year-old Alexis Rocha, 6-0, 4 KOs. Golden Boy really high on him. The younger brother of Ronnie Rios, who's having a good surge of his career recently. Rocha takes on veteran Marcus Beckford, who got the call on Monday. Beckford is one of those guys that you need in the sport of boxing. Have gloves, will travel, and he's expected to give Alexis Rocha a test tonight.
Rocha is the younger brother of Ronnie Rios, but certainly not the smaller, and he got the punching genes in this family, and to boot, he is a raw-bone 147-pounder, and he's also a southpaw, making him doubly dangerous. He's on a very fast track. Last year, turned professional with 6 fights, and now, this night, he kicks off his 2017 campaign.
This was from his last fight at the Fantasy Springs Resort and Casino in December. Fight that went the distance. One of the few ones that have gone the distance, but you saw that he had dropped his opponent. There you see Belasco waiting for our main event. There you see Cuñado in the red shirt. So when he's in the ring, that means the fighters are coming and making their way. Cuñado means brother-in-law. That's what we call him here with the Golden Boy logo. I wish I could get myself a red shirt. You got a red shirt, Jason? I don't.
I do not. I have plenty, but I don't have a red shirt. I got to get a green one now for St. Patrick's Day coming up shortly.
Do you guys celebrate St. Patrick's Day in Ireland?
Oh, hell yeah. Are you serious?
I just wanted to get the answer. Like, do Mexicans do Cinco de Mayo?
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to have some fun tonight. Angel Bojado, John Leon. The name Bojado, wait a minute. Sounds familiar? Yes, younger brother of Panchito Bojado. Steve Kim, you remember seeing the Bojado family?
Boy, years ago, back in 2001, as he came out of the 2000 Olympics, I was high on him as any prospect, maybe ever, in covering the sport. And quite frankly, he's turned into the Jamarcus Russell. He was an absolute bust. And we have to be very honest about this. This is not trending the right direction for the young man, Angel Bojado, either. Stat of the day, that Angel Bojado's had more fights canceled due to him not making weight than actual professional fights. Let's see if he can get it together tonight. Age 23, still has a lot of time on his side. But Beto, I get the sense he's got to get going, and I think he has to show the Golden Boy brass a little bit of something tonight.
A lot of questions about him. When will he fight? A lot of people highly on him, but you can't be somebody that causes a stir when you're not in the ring. His opponent, John Leon, Bogota, Colombia, on the flip side, was able to, actually, there it is. Okay, the tall guy, Meta World Peace, is a partial manager of John Leon. We'll talk about that story later on. He's a ring announcer.
Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions, Cerveza Tecate Born Ball, Casa Mexico Tequila, It's in the Taste, y Adriana's Insurance. Es para todos. Presentan este combate pactado a 4 rounds en la división de peso medio. 4 rounds of boxing in the middleweight division. Presentando sus 3 jueces. Your 3 judges scoring: Carla Caes, Jerry Cantu, y Dr. Blue Moret. And when the action begins, your 3rd man, el tercero en la superficie, Thomas Taylor. Introducing to your first fighter, standing in the blue corner, wearing white and red. His official weight, 152.6 pounds. Presentando ustedes en la esquina Tecate Azul, vistiendo calzoncillo blanco con rojo, con un peso de 152.6 libras. Professionally, he stands with 1 victory against no losses, and his victory coming by the way of knockout. Presenta un récord de 1 victoria, 0 derrotas, y esa victoria por la vía del knockout. De Bogotá, Colombia, John Leon. And his opponent across the ring is standing in the red corner, wearing brown and gold. His official weight, 156.6 pounds. Y su rival en la esquina Tecate Roja, vistiendo calzoncillo café con oro, con un peso de 156.6 libras. Professionally, he stands with 1 victory and no losses. Una victoria por 0 derrotas. Representando el este de Los Ángeles, California, Ángel Bojado. Y para dar las instrucciones finales, aquí está el referee. Your referee, Thomas Taylor.
Guys, trunk's good here. This is a little high, coach. Little high, so I'm gonna let him work in right here, okay? I gave you instructions in the dressing room. Protect yourselves at all times. Listen to my commands. Touch them up. Back to your corner, gentlemen.
Tom Taylor, 3rd man in the ring. Then you see Santa Monica Pier. Steve, you got the tail of the tape.
They're both 23 years old, but once again, the big story is Angel Bojado weighed in at 156.5. Beto, just my opinion, he's probably at least 2 weight classes above where he should be.
And that 156.5 was a fight, was an agreement. We'll get into that right now. It was supposed to be lower than that. Bojado came in 4 pounds over. They told John Leon in the morning, hey, go have some breakfast. We're going to have to figure out a new contract. They were able to get the agreement.
Looking at Bojado, for this fight to actually take place, they probably told Leon to have lunch and breakfast. Jason, just looking at the body of Bojado, doesn't he just look heavy?
Yeah, without a doubt, you know, he doesn't look like your typical boxer that struggled to make his weight and, you know, that had to do a lot of dieting and sweating and putting the water weight and everything.
Jason, what do you fight at?
I fight at 160.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all we have to say. And all that stuff you described, cutting weight, dropping water weight, going into the sun, I don't think any of that occurred with Bojado. And I think one thing that I've learned about really good fighters, Jason, is that boxing is not just a profession, it truly is a lifestyle, isn't it?
Yeah, you got to live the life, you know, inside and outside the ring. You got to be disciplined, and if you are disciplined, as you will know, the fighters that are disciplined outside the ring will show the discipline inside the ring as well. And you know, this is going to be a test for both these fighters tonight, I think, because it's not often you get two 1-0 fighters fighting each other this early on in their career.
One thing that's very noticeable, guys, is Leon is much taller and rangier. If he establishes that jab, he could really make things easier for him on the outside just by sticking out that stick consistently.
And we don't pull any punches here on the broadcast. Angel Bojado has been on our bout sheet during the week. Steve and I or Doug Fisher, we get notes sent to us. Here's the bout sheet. Here's who's fighting. I believe 3 times, Steve, we've had Angel Bojado on our notes where the fight never happened. And it's not us making fun of him. It's just a matter of fact that he hasn't done his part of the job.
He is the disappearing boxer. People ask me, what weight class is he? And I just say, I don't know. He just can't wait to eat. I mean, it really is that simple. And I remember Bojado, his older brother, Panchito Bojado, represented the 2000 Mexican Olympic team in Sydney. And I thought he was as good a prospect as there was. And he started off very quickly in his pro career. And there used to be a young kid that used to shadow box into the ring with him. That used to be this young man right here, Angel Bojado, how quickly they grow up.
I've heard about Bojado. I've always heard that he has talent and skills. As a matter of fact, how would he handle it as a professional? Here he is against John Leon, 1-0 with that 1 KO from Bogota, Colombia, now living in Southern California. Stablemate of Pablo Rubio Jr., the Shark. You see his management company, Shark Sports, across his trunks. Bojado, his only fight was last year. He signed with Golden Boy almost 2 years ago.
And Jason, from right here, Bojado really can't do much, can he?
This is what I was just going to say, you know, coming into this fight, Leon's going to look at Bojado and look at this. It's a 4-round fight. It's very like the amateurs. You know what I mean? He's got the height, he's got the distance, and he's got the reach. All he has to do is keep him out.
Yeah.
Distance. You know, box and move, and Bojado won't get inside. This could be a very easy night for Leon if he wanted to do that. But you know what I mean? When a lot of fighters turn to the professional game, they think that they have to set down on their feet. They think they have to let people see their power and everything like that, but not over a 4-round fight like this. You know, I think it would be very smart if Leon used his distance, used his height, and outboxed Bojado.
And we take a look at some of the action from round number 1 between Bojado and Leon. A round, quite frankly, Beto, I think it was very hard to give Bojado. I scored it 10-9 for John Leon, and as Jason mentioned, there's only 3 rounds to go. And Jason, these fights, you really have to have a sense of urgency. These things are not marathons, these are sprints.
I remember one of my fights against Mark Christopher Atkins at the Hard Rock Hotel in Vegas. It was scheduled for a 6 or 8 round fight, but whatever happened, it turned out to be a 4-round fight.
Yeah, you were a swing bout.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So right away, I switched my thinking. I was like, okay, I've had over 250 amateur fights. I'm going to take this fight as an amateur fight. And I was going to get in there, start fast, catch the judge's eyes, and just make sure that there was no slips, no knockdowns or anything like that. Because obviously in a 4-round fight, one knockdown can change the whole fight. You know, so it's very important for Leon to understand that and to use his distance. And it's all about getting the one right here now tonight.
Jason, as you build up your endurance and your seasoning as a pro, is it easier to fight 10-round fights psychologically than the pressure of jamming everything into 4 rounds?
That all depends on the person themselves and on the fighter. You know, everybody's made different, of course. You know, and some people will like the quick, fast-paced of 4 rounds or 3 rounds as it is now. It's 3 threes in the amateurs. And other fighters like to get into things, you know, have a bit of time to set themselves, to eye up their fighter, to feel them out and everything like that, and prefer the 10-round fight. So it really depends on the fighter themselves. But for me personally, you know, I really enjoyed the 3 threes, and I think I can adapt well now to the 10 threes or 12 threes.
That is the voice of Jason Quigley, who headlines ESPN March 23rd against Glenn Tapia. Use the hashtag RingTVLive, and we will try to get you your shout-outs. Appreciate everybody sending us tweets. They're watching us in Colombia right now. La esposa de John Leon, Diana, y su niño Dominic, de 3 años. También saludos a José Elías, el papá de John Leon. They're also watching us in Verona, That's Carla Lustenau and Shauna Davis and Rob Gaspari are watching us. Golden Boy was there on Saturday for David Lemieux and Curtis Stevens. That's where Will Wright is going on the red eye tonight. And John Leon looks very comfortable in this second round.
Beto, I think he's having a very big second round. He's established the distance. Everything's been working off the jab, and he's clipped him with some very strong right hands here. I think Bojado needs to get going here. I think he's on the verge of being down 2-0.
Bojado pro debut August 5th, 2016. Went the distance against Yuri Silverio. John Sanchez Leon had a first round KO of Jose Huerta last July. That was in India. And that was a fight at 146.
And Jason, anytime John Leon just does that, sticking out even a token jab, boy, Bojado has a very tough time breaching that airspace, doesn't he?
That's exactly what I was going to say. You know, Leon had a great phase in the fight there where he was outboxing him at distance and Bojado was falling into the shots. And then as soon as he started catching him, he started pressuring the fight. Why is he pressuring the fight? He has the fight in the control of his hands. He has it at distance, and that's the way he should keep it. He doesn't want to mix it up and get in there and get caught with a silly shot that might knock him down or anything like that, or a trip. You know, he's doing it perfect as it is. There's no need to mix it up in my eyes.
And guys, I think it's 2-0, 20-18, and we are halfway through. Things I don't think are looking very good for Mr. Bojado.
May 6th, ladies and gentlemen, the biggest fight of the year takes place in Las Vegas, Nevada, the T-Mobile Arena, completely sold out.
Angel Bojado, John Leon. See the highlights from the second round. What do you see, Jason?
I see Leon using his distance beautifully here. You know, this is the perfect fight right now. Right there, what he's doing is absolutely perfect. Keeping it at distance. Bojado can't get in, and he's trying to get in. He's swinging, he's missing, and leaving himself open. You know, this is the perfect style. But look, now you see the likes of Leon. Look at him getting inside. You know, starting to swing over the top. You know, I don't think he needs to do that. He's looking for a knockout, of course, which would be great. But, you know, I think he should stick to his boxing.
Leon does not have a promoter. He's the B side. He's on the blue side. Has a manager with Meta World Peace and Pablo Rubio Sr.
And Beto, we all know that Meta World Peace loves a good fight.
Oh, yes, he does.
Malice at the Palace. Who can forget that, huh?
But Bojado, a Golden Boy fighter, so if you can go and beat one of those guys in front of Roberto Diaz, the matchmaker, and other Golden Boy brass, that opens up some eyes. These guys are hungry, especially at the Belasco. Because you fought there, guys come in trying to rip your head off because they know they can make it. You have a target on your back if you're a Golden Boy guy.
Of course, you know, and that's their perfect opportunity. And plus, you know, it's a small ring, it's a small venue. You know, it has a great atmosphere, so it can get you hyped up very quickly. You know, a few roars and shouts from the crowd, and you know, you get an extra level and an extra gear in your engine.
The voice of Jason El Animal Quigley. Middleweight for Golden Boy. What's your record?
12-0 right now with 10 knockouts.
Oh, come on, say it right. 12-0 with how many knockouts?
You know it better. It's 12-0 with 10 devastating knockouts.
I told you I'm going to set you up, make you look good tonight. Doesn't sound like it's your first time on a microphone. Angel Bojado, 23 years old from East LA, in the brown and white. John Leon with that good lather from Bogota, Colombia. Is Leon the aggressor? Oh, he is with that one right hand.
Listen, when he establishes that jab, and I think Jason's right, the only way he could lose this fight is basically by hanging a curveball. If he gets a little greedy on the inside, because when they're chest to chest, that's where Bojado can have success. He's not a very tall guy, doesn't have a lot of range. If they're outside, Beto, I think that John Leon can really just pick his way apart, literally using one hand, that being the left.
Veronica Vitella watching this in Montebello says, good job, Quigley. I'm enjoying him. Wildcard King, Jerry Casares. Nice job, fellas. Thanks to everybody watching us. Less than a minute to go in the third round. John Leon, you see the Columbia on the back. He started boxing at the age of 11, did Leon. Favorite fighters, Oscar and Tito. So don't ask me to choose one, though. Picking up the pace here. That he found that other gear you were talking about, Jason.
Yeah, you know, I think that's the crowd, that's the small atmosphere. And, you know, I think he's doing perfect, and I think possibly he could get the stoppage if he keeps pushing the fight. But why take that risk in a 4-round fight? You know, he's doing perfect, he's looking good, and that's exactly what I'm sure he wanted to do tonight in front of Golden Boy, in front of Robert Diaz.
Well, there's an old phrase, Jason, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think he's just steadily breaking down Bojado, and if you look now, I think there is blood coming from the nose of Bojado, so he's starting to show the effects of what's been a very steady attack. And another good right hand from Leon.
Final seconds of the third round, scheduled for 4. Another good right by the Colombian Leon here at the Velasco Theater, the 2-year anniversary of the LA Fight Club. Why are they shaking hands like that? You just got clocked. Why are you shaking hands?
I do not know.
Do you do that?
Hell no.
I get it if you have a good scrap. If you have a good scrap, okay, good. At the Velasco, they dance club anyways, right? If it's Tiesto or Calvin Harris up there, cool. But you just got clocked with the right hand.
Yeah, I would be clocking him back, not shaking his hand after that.
I don't know what's being said in Bojado's corner, guys, but on my scorecard, it's 30-27. Jason, I think if you're Bojado, you have to go for broke. I think he needs a knockout to win this.
Without a doubt, but it just goes back now to making weight. Obviously, he doesn't have the discipline to make weight, as he's proven in the past.
Just give it all you got. You shoot first. If you stay more active this round,
Heard a little bit of you shoot first, you got to be active. John Leon came to the United States a year ago chasing a boxing dream. He actually came with Oscar Negrete, a Golden Boy fighter, the Colombian. He might as well be the conduit, the guy who might be getting a little cut on this, all these Colombian dudes that are coming. But Leon had dreams of going to the Olympics. That felt, and as soon as that happened, when he was eliminated in one of the world competitions, he made a phone call, said, I want to go to the United States. He left behind his wife. Video chats with her every single day, and basically you made the same decision. Leave your family. How hard is that when the first year adjusted?
To be honest, the first few months is amazing.
Oh, really?
You're out here in LA and everything.
The word is freedom.
Yeah, you know, you're out here in LA, everything looks great and it's amazing, you know, and it's something new, it's a new experience.
Okay.
But you know, after a while, you start to miss your family, your friends, and your local takeaways, and you know, the simple things of life back at home. But you know, when you have a job and you have a goal and a target for yourself, you know, that gets you by every day.
John Leon has a goal and a target. He's letting his hands go here in the 4th round. Angel Bojado trying to go with him, but his punches, there's no pop on.
Well, you ever heard of the phrase marshmallows to a battleship?
No.
Well, you just did, because this is what happens when you fight out of your weight against a guy who's naturally bigger and was actually in better shape to begin with you. Bojado's punches just don't seem to have any real effect on Leon. I think Leon's fought a pretty good 4th round here. Certainly not sitting on the lead, Jason. He seems to be pretty assertive. Hard right hands after establishing the jab.
You know, it's easy for me to say which way he should box sitting here, but I don't know what's going on with Leon. Like, he wants to come here, he wants to make a statement.
Yeah.
You know, as you says, he doesn't have a promoter. He's right here now on a Golden Boy show fighting a Golden Boy fighter with Robert Diaz sitting in front row. He obviously wants to go out there and show them there's something special.
And we have to be honest, Bojado is quote-unquote the house fighter. My scorecard is highly unofficial. But again, another good right hand by Leon.
Yeah, you know, he's catching Bojado very comfortably, you know, especially with that backhand, and he's boxing a perfect fight here, you know what I mean? If he just keeps it nice and long now, stays out of trouble, Bojado's going to fall into his shots, and Bojado's punches.
Boy, he just looks winded. Yeah. He really does, Bojado. He looks like a guy that didn't do a day of road work coming into this bout.
Well, Steve, he had to lose weight to get to lose weight. To get to a new weight agreement. If that makes, and basically, he had to lose a lot of weight to get this fight done. Sal Sanchez, the amateur out in India watching us tonight. You don't have to worry about losing weight. He might be fighting April 1st, the younger brother of Emilio Sanchez, out there with Toño and Joel Diaz, where tomorrow night, Joel's fighter, Diego De La Hoya, will be fighting in Verona. And then Carter Lemieux and Stevens. A good night of action for John Sanchez Leon, fighter from Bogota, Colombia. Underdog. Didn't look like it. The final seconds of the 4th round. Leon fighting above his weight class. Didn't seem to take a toll on him at all. And he was done with 4 and the fight is over.
I would be stunned if that young man from Colombia did not get his hand raised in victory. I don't even know if Bojado actually won a round. I thought he was in command from the very beginning. Jason, he established the jab from the outside, then he came downhill with overhand rights, and I thought he finished the fight very strong.
Without a doubt, he established the jab, which every coach should tell their boxer is the key to the door. You know what I mean? It opened everything up, and that's exactly what it did for Leon tonight. It opened up that backhand, and he landed it beautifully numerous of times in each round.
And I think this is the action from the final round where he was not sitting on his lead. I thought he put an exclamation point to what was a very solid performance, and he just seemed to be the better conditioned guy. He had a little bit more left in the gas tank, and quite frankly, Bojado really didn't show much throughout the night. Jason, if you're Bojado, it's obvious you don't have an appetite for the lifestyle or training. You begin to look for another way of making a living.
Exactly, like, you know, Bojado to me there as well. Looking at this fight from us sitting here, we had Leon 3 rounds up going into the last round. You know, so Bojado, if he's a smart fighter and a smart person, he should know that he's trailing going into the last round. And to me, he didn't show the heart of a champion to come in there and to pull it back and to go for broke. You know, if that's is what he really, really wants.
This isn't a team sport. You guys are with the same promoter, so you kind of take a little bit more pride when you see another Golden Boy fighter. But when you see a Golden Boy guy come up and not make weight, look sluggish, what do you think about that?
You know, that's just typically on the fighter himself, and you know, it's disappointing on that fighter himself because there's a lot of fighters out there that would love to be in Bojado's position, to have a promoter like Golden Boy behind them that puts on constant fights and big shows and gives you the opportunities that a lot of fighters don't have. You know, I think Bojado should have maybe took things a little more serious and appreciated what he got with Golden Boy.
There you see Cuñado in the red shirt in the corner. Carla Lusta now in Verona. The stream is now working in New York, Steve. They said it's snowing, so the stream wasn't working.
Oh.
So hello to everybody at Golden Boy in Verona. Carla Lusta now, Rob Gaspari, and Shauna Davis, and everybody, and Javier Razo, the matchmaker, getting it done. Thanks for watching us.
Man, Razo.
Yeah, and guys, don't feel bad. It was only low 80s here today. Don't worry, guys.
But it was a dry heat.
Dry.
It was
Very dry, very humid.
Steve Kim has his best sandals out for you guys right now. We're waiting the results. Tom Taylor's the referee. Beto Duran, Steve Kim, and Jason Quigley. And let's see what the Twitter world is saying. Patrick Smith, I knew Jake Quigley had hands. Didn't know he had mic skills.
So these guys actually understand what I'm saying.
They do, I don't. I forgot your Irish spray. You run there, right, Griffith Park?
Yeah, beautiful, something amazing, and right there now at this time of night would be absolutely beautiful looking over the lights of LA.
Okay, you're not doing Mount Baldy tomorrow, are you? No, you're done.
I'm not too far out, or too close now to the fight, so I'll be back in doing my normal run on Venice Beach tomorrow morning, nice and light, fast, sharp.
What time are we doing that?
Whatever time, Beto, you know, whatever time we get in at from our night out tonight.
So, I mean, we'll be in bed by 10 tonight?
Yeah, probably.
Because you live that lifestyle, because you have a lot on the line.
Yeah, you know, it's just something that I'm passionate about, and, you know, I appreciate the opportunity that I've been given, you know, in my life by everyone involved, my whole team, my family, my friends, everyone that has supported me. You know, I appreciate everything that I have, and I'm really looking forward now to going out there and to proving to myself and to all my friends that the support means the world to me, and going out there achieving my dreams.
Damas y caballeros, después de 4 rounds de combate, nos vamos con las tarjetas de los jueces. After 4 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. Los 3 jueces, Carla Cais, Lou Moret y Jerry Cantu, tienen las tarjetas 39 a 37. All 3 judges have scored the same, 39 to 37. For your winner by the way of unanimous decision, su ganador por la vía de la decisión unánime, John Leon Sanchez.
Yep. Beto, I thought it was an easy call. I thought it was obvious. Chick Hearn would have said you could have called that in Braille.
You can see the emotion on the face of John Sanchez. Leaving his country, leaving his wife, his kid, his family. He said this was a huge opportunity he couldn't afford to lose.
Beto, I think he may have just earned himself at least another shot at the Belasco Theater, if not perhaps maybe even a promotional contract. I think he has some real skills here.
And Sanchez, we mentioned Golden Boy has a new feature with ESPN. A lot of fights on the Golden Boy calendar in the next couple of years. And let's look at the recap of the first 4 rounds.
You know, this is Leon here doing what he should have done throughout the whole fight, and exactly what he done. Keep it nice and long, catching him with the long shots. That jab again, look, key to the door, opening everything up and landing that backhand in over the top. You know, look, beautiful right hand, left hook, right hand again. And this is where he gets a little bit greedy, I think, and tries to go for the knockout, which, of course, would have came if he had caught him clean.
There's an old phrase, the training doesn't lie. What you do in the 6 to 8 weeks prior to the night of the fight will tell you how you're going to perform. And quite frankly, John Leone won this fight probably months before. His preparation was that much better.
Without a doubt, you know, and it can tell on a fighter, you know, by their physique. Of course, there's fighters out there. You might know Paul McCluskey from Ireland that fought Amir Khan. You know, you look at Paul McCluskey, he was a hard trainer, he worked hard, but he never looked in shape.
Juan Diaz, the baby bull, was another example of that.
But these guys made weight, you know what I mean? This guy doesn't look to be in great shape, but, you know, he's missing weight, so he proves that he is maybe being a bit lazy and not taking it as serious as he should.
Next fight coming up, super welterweight division, a guy whose body looks good, he trains hard. TKO Boxing in Santa Ana, that's Alexis Rocha taking on Long Island's Marcus Beckford, Bethel Duran, Steve Kim, and Jason Quigley. Well, we have a chance right now. Let's get into some news and notes. Steve, I want to start it off with some sad news. Legendary boxing man Lou Duva passed away this week at the age of 95. And you had some great tweets about your interaction with him.
Yeah, rest in peace to a real true boxing guy. Captain Lou Duva, the patriarch of main events, best known for heading up main events, being the trainer of the 84 Olympians that really caused a lot of history to take place within the ring. Shows at the Ice World in Totowa, New Jersey at the beginning. Company led by Dan Duva, his son, became a promotional powerhouse. And if you want to talk about some of the great training duos of all time, I would say him and George Benton, I think, are among the all-time greatest. And Lou Duva is a man that gave to the sport of boxing, did what he wanted to do, and made an incredible contribution. Rest in peace to Lou Duva.
Busy weekend of boxing, not just at the Belasco in downtown Los Angeles, the 2-year anniversary of the LA Fight Club, but Saturday night, HBO, David Lemieux, Curtis Stevens, and also the return of Gamboa. And Nicaragua's always dangerous, Rene Alvarado.
Yeah, that's a guy that we've seen. I think he's going to give quality rounds to Gamboa. I think Gamboa will be too skillful. Jason, let's bring you in here. I think this fight, the main event tomorrow night in My Verona, has some implications for you. I think the winner of this fight is someone that you're going to be targeting down the line. Curtis Stevens or David Lemieux, who do you favor?
You definitely know, Kim, that I'm excited about this fight, and it's something I'm going to be watching very closely.
Wait, haven't you sparred Lemieux?
Yes, I was in camp with Lemieux for the Triple G fight.
Oh.
You know, so I did a good few rounds with Lemieux. As I say, you know, I don't look at any fighter out there and look at him as a rival or somebody that I want to get or anything like that. You know, I'm here, and my only aim and my only focus right now is Glenn Tapia come March 23rd. But at the end of the day, I'm going to have to fight other guys to get to the top and get to the level where I want to get to. And of course, I'm looking at all other fighters also out there.
I just have concerns. I like Curtis Stevens a lot, known him for years. I'll be honest with you, when I saw him November 19th on the Kovalev Ward undercard against James De La Rosa, it was really a natural 47-54. He looked like a faded fighter. So the question becomes then, was it a bad night or was a fighter that has now gone on the other side of the hill? That's why you fight the fights, and we'll find out tomorrow.
James De La Rosa, who Jason Quigley beat. Was it last Cinco de Mayo?
Yeah, that was right. Last Cinco de Mayo, it was on one of the Canelo cards. Canelo Khan undercard, correct. Yeah, you know, so James De La Rosa was one of my first big step-ups in my career. You know, I was only 10-0. The guy was 23-3, and you know, it was a massive step-up for me, and I went to 10 rounds for the first time in my career as well. And that's kind of experience, you know, that you can't buy, especially on a big stage in Vegas. And, you know, that's going to stand by me throughout my career.
The voice of Jason Quigley, who headlines against Glenn Tapia March 23rd on ESPN. Now let's look backwards to last weekend, Steve. Thurman Garcia.
You know, it was a split decision, but I thought it was about as clear a split decision as you can have, Jason. I thought one guy was more mobile. I thought he was more active. I thought he completely outboxed him. Danny Garcia simply could not draw him into any of that left hook counterpunching that he's so known for. It was not what I'd call an exciting fight, but I do think Keith Thurman fought a very sound tactical battle.
The way that I looked at that fight and that I sum it up is that wasn't a fight for the fight fans. That was a fight for the boxers to watch. You know, the guys that are in there doing it and can respect the performance that Thurman put on. I was very, very impressed. He went out there, he let Garcia know that he meant business from day one. He landed some big heavy shots, caught him clean, put the pressure on, and then he moved and outboxed him. I thought it was an absolutely brilliant fight, and I think also throughout that fight, Garcia knew he was trailing throughout that fight, and I think it was very important that he got back into it, but I didn't see the hunger in his eyes. I didn't see the determination, the drive, the passion that he wanted that fight. I definitely seen it in Thurman. I thought Thurman definitely wanted it a lot more also.
I think there's one thing against Danny Garcia you have to do if you want to trouble him. I think you have to move. You have to be able to be very good with the jab, like Mauricio Herrera. Lamont Peterson riddled him with movement. And I thought that was a very good blend of both of those elements from Keith Thurman. I'll say this, though. I thought certainly he won that fight. He is now the unified champion. But Jason, I still think, as faded as he is, and he's not what he was, let's say 3-4 years ago, I think Manny Pacquiao, as long as Floyd Mayweather is indeed retired, I still think he is the world's best 147-pounder.
Without a doubt, you know, and as you said, Thurman showed that he could box and he could fight. You see a lot of fighters out there today, you know, you'll get their opponent that watches them and understands, okay, he's a come-forward fighter, or okay, he's a boxer, he likes to move. Whereas if you're going to fight Keith Thurman, you have to be ready to put him on the back foot or to be on the back foot yourself, you know. And that's what's so great about boxing, and that's why I like Keith Thurman, and that's why I respect him so much as a fighter, because he's not just one-dimensional. He can mix things up, and there's something special about him, I think.
Saludos a Liza27 que nos estás mirando por Ring TV Live. Corey Seager, Rookie of the Year. Yes, thank you for always watching us. He's ready for Alexis Rocha at TKO Boxing. That's coming up next against Marcus Beckford. There you see the LA City Hall. If you've ever watched Dragnet, for those of you older folk.
The names have been changed to protect the innocent. I saw, by the way, I'm not that old. I saw replays. I saw reruns.
I heard about it on YouTube. So you can use the hashtag Ring TV Live. Keep your tweets coming. Now, Steve, last week, David Haye was in the ring, and David Haye was winning, and then?
Well, he blew out a tire, and, you know, I really believe when he blew out his Achilles, I thought you give him a couple rounds to see if he could land a miracle shot. Jason, you were a fighter, and I have a theory that psychologically, after the Klitschko fight, where he took so much slack and so much, as you say, well, the English say, stick, for making the excuse, I think Haye understood that if I quit now, even if it's a very legitimate injury, I don't think he wanted to take that stick again from the fans. Agree or disagree?
100% agree, you know, and he talked too much as well before the fight. That if he
no, David Haye.
If he had have give up, it would have been even worse. You know what I mean? And plus, what you mentioned as well, after the injury, you says, Steve, that if he could land that haymaker shot, one of Haye's biggest problems was he tried to land that haymaker shot from the first bell.
Jay, I thought from the very beginning he was overthrowing his punches. I thought technically he looked terrible. He didn't let the fight come to him.
Without a doubt, you know, the man of his ability, the man of his experience, I thought it was very unprofessional of him what he did. He really did look over Tony Bellew and really did believe in himself that he could go in there and just destroy Tony Bellew. You can't get in there with any world champion in nowadays boxing and think that you're just going to blow them out of there inside one round. But with David Haye's ability, the man is such an athlete. He's elusive. He's a big puncher. He could be stardom.
But Jason, here's the problem. Last 5 years, he hasn't been that active. In his previous couple of fights where he dipped his toe, no pun intended, back into the water, he got matched sharp and soft that provided no real resistance. And unfortunately, he probably thought the same of Tony Bellew. Beto?
The tweets, Quigley's your partner, awesome. That's from Vanessa out in Mid-City, L.A.
He is awesome, yes.
Pitch Inc. Oh, she's trying to get you a job on any other network possible. Rachel Charles does a great job with Jason Quigley. Our co-feature is now in the ring. Alexis Rocha, Marcus Beckford. Rocha, undefeated fighter. And there you see him the last time he was in the ring. He went the distance 4 rounds, but it was hard.
Yes, and the one thing about him, not only can he punch, I think what also makes him a real problem is he's also southpaw, and he seems to have pretty good technical skills. As we mentioned earlier, he is the younger brother of Ronnie Rios, featherweight prospect under the Golden Boy Promotions banner. Word is Rios could be landing a spot on a big show upcoming.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is ready for 6 rounds of boxing in the super welterweight division. 6 rounds de combate en la división de peso super welter. Presentado ustedes por Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions. Cerveza Tecate, Born Bold. Casa México Tequila, it's in the taste. Y Adriana's Insurance es para todos. Your 3 judges scoring. Sus 3 jueces. Carla Kais, Jerry Cantu y el Dr. Lou Moret. Y el tercero en la superficie, your 3rd man inside the ring, Jack Reeves. Introducing to you first the fighter standing in the blue corner, wearing green and gold. He's official weight 149 pounds. Presentando ustedes en la esquina Tecate Azul, vistiendo calzoncillo verde con oro, con un peso de 149 libras. Professionally, he stands with 3 victories against 5 losses, 3 draws, and 1 victory coming by the fast way of knockout. Presenta un récord de 3 victorias, 5 derrotas, 3 empates y una victoria por la vía del knockout. Representing Long Island, New York, Marvelous Marcus Beckford. And his opponent across the ring is standing in the red corner, wearing black trunks with green, white, and red. His official weight 148 pounds. Y su rival en la esquina Tecate Roja, vistiendo calzoncillo negro con oro, blanco, verde y rojo, con un peso de 148 libras. Professionally, he stands undefeated with 6 victories, no losses, and 4 of those victories coming by the fast way of knockout. Presenta un récord invicto de 6 victorias, 0 derrotas y 4 de esas victorias por la vía rápida del knockout. Puritito Santana, California, Alexis Lex Rocha. And to give out the final instructions, aquí está el tercero en la superficie, Jack Reeves.
These are right on the belt line. I'm going to let them work in here. Mouthpiece. Gave you both instructions. Just want to remind you, listen and obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Fight hard, fight clean. Good luck.
Jack Reeves, the man in the ring, controlling the action tonight. Look at the tail of the tape, Steve.
And Marcus Beckford is 23 years old, 4 years older than Alexis Rocha. And again, the variable with Rocha, not only can he hit, he is a southpaw.
Six rounds in the super welterweight division. We are underway. Alexis Rocha, the southpaw. Got the Mexican flag on one side, the USA flag on the other. His mom is from Salitre, Zacatecas. His dad from Mexico City. They now call that Anna home, and Marcus Beckford has found the mat early. Alexis doesn't even let me give me a chance to set up the scene of who he is.
And I believe that was a right hook from Rocha that sent Beckford down.
It's my man.
Smelling blood is Rocha. Loading up on that left. Rocha sparred with Peter Petrov for 3 weeks preparing for this fight. On the body. One thing he said he noticed from watching the replays of the Ring TV broadcast, Steve, that he needs to be patient. He needs to slow down a bit. He's doing that here.
Well, you know that old saying from John Wood, be quick but don't be in a hurry. He certainly started out tonight with a flourish. One thing about Beckford, you got to look deeper than the record, 3-5-3. But a couple of things here. He's only been stopped once, and that was in his last fight against the very highly regarded Deron Boots Ennis out of Philadelphia. For the most part, Beckford has been a very, very durable opponent.
Beckford lived in Vegas for a year. Worked out of that TNT gym, now goes back to Long Island, where he's from. He came to LA for the first time with no corner. He picked up Candyman, who's usually a cut man, to be his trainer tonight.
And he's there tonight. And one other note about Beckford's record, which is just 3-5-3, but out of his last 6 opponents, guys, 5 of them have been undefeated. This is a seasoned, tough, young veteran.
Southpaw against southpaw. Good body shot by Rocha.
Stop.
19 years old. Alexis Rocha, when he was 14, weighed about 200 pounds. Really took it serious. Lost all that weight at the boxing gym because his brother Ronnie was like, no, you don't need to fight. You don't need to fight. Let me fight for the family. And here he is developing into a solid 147-pounder.
And Jason, I think what Rocha has shown in round number 1, you could be the shorter guy and out-jab your opponent.
That was the first thing that stood out of my mind. Just watching and looking at the two of them, I thought that Beckford was going to be the long-range fighter establishing the jab, but it was Rocha who started banging the mouthpiece on Beckford early on.
Like you said, turn the key early. That is the key.
Exactly. You know, you got to dictate the pace. You got to let them know that you mean business and that you're the boss, and you got to take control.
Rocha, flashback to his last fight where he dropped his opponent in the first round, but that one went on the distance. Good opening round for Alexis Rocha against Marcus Beckford, Velasco Theater. That is a veteran right there. When you come in with no corner. All right, who wants to work my corner? I'll give you a cut.
Remember you worked my corner against Liam Smith in sparring?
Yes, I did. And by your corner means I worked Liam Smith.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you were at the Rock Gym and you were sparring Liam Smith. I saw Liam. I'm like, I'm going to go with him. Forget quickly.
I thought me and you were friends, Beto.
You like Estrellita better, so. Here you see Hector Lopez. Yes, Hector Lopez, I'm going to say it. You're a big Patriots fan. Congratulations to your Patriots.
Bang. And Jason, that really is a loss of distance by Beckford.
That was a beautiful shot, you know what I mean? And it was just timed nicely. It's one of them shots that he doesn't plan on throwing. It just happens, you know. And Beckford is the type of fighter and is the type of style that could make fights awkward for other fighters also.
Beckford fighting out of the Freeport PAL in Long Island. His dad was a soccer player, and he would have his son here at the gym when he was 5, and they would kick the kid out of the gym. They're like, he's too small to be in here. He's been around boxing his entire life. He's a rebel. His nickname is like, because I just got to be a rebel without a cause there. Another guy who watches the Ring TV broadcast. Guys are going to Ring TV and watching the broadcast to study up on their opponents. So be careful what you say, Steve.
I just want to warn everybody, there's a mute button. But early on, one thing I like about Rocha, though, he's doing a nice job of setting his feet at a very comfortable distance. He's closing ground on Beckford without Beckford even realizing it. It's not so much the jab that's troubling, it's also the fact he's planting himself in a very, very comfortable distance. Although he got beat to the punch right there.
That was a very nice, sharp, crisp shot there from Beckford. You know, and that's the kind of style there that can make it awkward because he is so tall and rangy, and he obviously has speed and sharpness.
Alexis Rocha, Segerstrom High School in Santa Ana is where he attended. His career has gone quickly in this past year with Golden Boy, 6 fights, and now here he is as a co-main, which tells you what they think about him. The previous fight, Angel Bojado signed before Rocha, and he's only had 2. So he feels more relaxed now. That because the co-main, he feels like it's a reward for him, but he wants to put on a show.
Again, last year in his initial campaign, he had 6 bouts. That's pretty good activity by today's standards. I think it's very realistic that Rocha, and again, if there's no speed bumps or any hardships that we don't foresee, he could easily be 10-0 and within due time fighting on bigger platforms. Still learning how to box, though. I think tonight, with a guy like Beckford, he's going to get some quality professional resistance in there.
Shot landed.
Sometimes I think, you know, a knockdown early on in a fight like that cannot be a good thing for the guy that knocked him down because it can waken up your opponent and make him more aware of what's going on, as Kovalov knows against Ward.
Stop. No more punch. Let him out. Let each other go. Step away, box.
Gabriel Duran watching us in his palatial state in Long Beach, my brothers. There's a big projector in the garage watching it, and as he says, Quigley sounds good.
Thank you very much, my
There
friend.
it is, there it is. Tu hermano, LA Unified principal. Enjoy the fights. Oh,
Nice
a body
counter
shot.
punch.
That hurt Beckford.
That looked like a counter punch. Looked like he rolled off one of his shots, slipped, and just put a really nice shot right down the middle.
I think that was the backhand to the body, and he came up with that left lead hook again that knocked him down in the first round. I think it was what hurt him in the chin.
Body work from Rocha.
Oh.
Again, that body work. Taking a knee is Beckford in the final second of the second. He had been digging to that body, and it took a toll.
8, 9,
Get up. Where's the camera?
10.
Oh,
You just beat the count. You want to
That was a
continue?
9
Continue
3/4.
You got to get up quicker.
Jack Reese giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Boy, that was a count that Steve Smurgle would have approved of. That looked like it could have been a 10 count.
He said, not end. There was no end there at the end. Yeah, the Irish accent, maybe it would have been 10. I don't know.
You never know with an Irish accent. You never know what kind of numbers he could be counting up in his head.
Okay, everybody keep sending the tweets. Alexis Rocha has fans. He has a good, strong base in Orange County and Santana, TKO Boxing. The Flores sisters said, Lex looks good. Just logged on to Ring TV Live. You guys sound good. Thank you to Margarita watching us in Orange County.
You know, I think Rocha here was looking very comfortable. He's starting to set down his shots and show that he has power. You know, and that's what I think their plan was maybe coming from the corner, was to work the body.
And Jason, there I think is the counter punch that we talked about. He actually did a nice job of slipping punches. I think tonight Rocha's done a very good job of being patient and steady behind the jab, closing the distance, and then just really raking the body at the end of round number 2.
Without a doubt.
Third round, Beckford has been down in the first and the second. He was counted at 9 3/4. End of the second. Alexis Rocha, the 19-year-old. Steve, we've called every single one of his fights. Every time he comes out, you see a new wrinkle in his
Yeah, and tonight I'm seeing a guy that's doing a nice job of closing the distance, slipping punches when he has to, and then going inside and pressing his advantage as the shorter guy, using that inside leverage. I think he's figured out if he starts digging to the body, Beckford just might fold his 10.
Now, Beckford came in weighing 148 pounds. Rocha told Roberto Diaz he was disappointed in that because he wanted to wear the 8-ounce gloves. In his career, he's going to fight at 147, but he's been at 48, 49 because of the opponent. He's never worn the 8-ounce gloves. He said he just wants to crack somebody with those 8-ounce gloves.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, if you're a 48 and above, you wear 10 ounces.
But Jason, we don't have to tell you this. You know what the problem is? They also come back at you too. Your opponent gets to wear them also.
That's what people have said to me. You know, whenever I turned professional and I got the hand wrapping and everything done and the gloves on, I'm like, whoa, I can't wait to let these go with my opponent. And somebody says to me, yeah, but he's doing the same to you. And I was like, yeah, that's true. I never actually thought of that.
That's why I only hit that water bag at the gym first. It hits back too. It hits back. Halfway through the third round.
Well, you get the sense, Beto, that Rocha understands now if he keeps coming forward, if he keeps making an investment downstairs, you could see it's obviously a lot of wear and tear on Beckford here. And we're only about, 2/3 of the way through round number 3. He's starting to really physically grind him down.
He's definitely, Rocha is also being very patient. You know, he's stalking Beckford and he's not going head hunting because Beckford is pretty elusive. You know, he moves well his upper half of the body, but the bottom part of the body does not move. And that's a great sign of a fighter, you know, to recognize that and to exploit it.
Rocha's body becoming more and more chiseled, too.
Yeah.
He's only 19. Doesn't have those man muscles yet. They said he works out with his brother, Ronnie, knows what it's like to be a professional now. As we were alluded to in the previous fight, he said he has one job. This is be in shape.
Bojado could, I think, take some advice from him.
Just think about this. Bojado weighed in at 156 and a half? Beckford has to be at least 4 or 5 inches taller, weighed in at 148 or 149.
That's crazy.
They come in different shapes and sizes. Alexis Rocha looking good through 3.
coming up. Okay? How you feel? Good? Good. Don't lie to me. How you feel? Huh? I'm a little winded. Okay. Now take your time. Don't be running so much. That's why you get winded. Okay?
Beckford reckons that he's going to come back and win this fight.
No. He said I'm a little winded.
Right?
Oh, I'm a little winded.
And after he spit up a bunch of blood.
I thought he says I'm going to come back and win this. I was thinking Roger's definitely hitting
You know
too hard.
what winded means?
Not really, Beto.
Okay.
What's it mean? Can you explain it to me?
I was hoping you translate for me, man. I don't know, maybe you have a different dialect than me.
I'll show you what it means. I'll not tell you. I'll show you what winded means.
We're talking about people hitting back. Are they watching us right now in Ireland?
Well, to be honest, I don't think so. It's pretty it's pretty late back in Ireland. It's probably like 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning.
But just remember this, though. This will be uploaded on YouTube. Let them know.
So that means everybody, 4 in the morning, that means Big Wiggins is just shutting down right now.
So if they're doing nothing early on a Saturday morning back in Ireland, they can tune in and listen to my Irish voice over here with all the Americans.
Uncle Billy.
That's it, Uncle Billy and Shay.
Shay shutting down. And Muriel.
My beautiful mother, Muriel, of course, she'd be very proud
Mother
to hear
Muriel's
me on
your
this.
mother. Ursula's your aunt.
Ursula's my aunt and Muriel's my mother.
Yeah, she does teach Irish dance, right?
Yeah.
Not a cliche. We got it all going down there, Quigley family. 4th round of action, Alexis Rocha from Santa Ana, California. Marcus Beckford, Long Island, New York. He went down in the 1st and the 2nd, survived the 3rd, and those body shots from Rocha, he's just going to that body.
Well, I think Rocha's been expert with that front hand, and there's a good one, too. But the way he's been able to really control distance and use it as a table setter to move inside with that right jab of his, and there's a right hook, I think it's been very good.
It's only a matter of time now.
You took the words out of my mouth, brother. I think this is just a matter of time. I think Roger's just stalking his opponent, landing the heavy shots, body and head now. I think it's a matter of time before Beckford calls it a day.
Beckford's game, he's tough. A veteran at the age of 23. He said he's never had anybody in his corner at the age 3, 5, and 3. It's always himself, and he goes. The role of a journeyman. See, what's the term used? Professional?
Well, professional resistance, and I think this has been a very good experience from Rocha. This is interesting matchmaking by Robert Diaz, and I think there's a point being taken away from Beckford for holding. But let's face it, there's a lot of young fighters that you don't actually say, let's face a tall, reflexive southpaw. That's not exactly the easiest matchup, and I think Rocha's done a very good job of really, from the very beginning of this fight, deciphering what Beckford does, and to a certain degree, just kind of just breaking him down slowly but surely.
As we've done this in the past 2 years, the LA Fight Club Series, Steve, you and Doug Fisher, editor of RingTV.com, have talked about over and over how some fighters, you can fast track them at a young age. Other ones, you need baby food for them. It's the matchmaking that comes down to.
Yeah, and I think Rocha's showing some really good progress tonight. And I like the adjustment he made, I think, in this round. He's starting to now aim that left hand, although he missed that one, more towards the chest of Beckford, because Beckford himself has made that adjustment of just slipping over every time he sees that left hand coming from Rocha.
Didn't see that right coming. Split the guard. Final seconds of the 4th round. Scheduled for 6. Super welterweight division. 2-year anniversary of the LA Fight Club. Jack Reeves getting in there.
Knock it off. Stop with the belt.
Get hurt, bro. You do one more. No, he's back. Too many punches. Do one more.
Oh, it seems to me, Jason, there is a debate as to whether they want to stop this fight. Candyman wants to throw in the towel. Beckford's asking for one more round.
Yeah, you know, most fighters, if a coach turns to them and say, we're going to throw in the towel or we're going to pull you, most fighters are going to have the response of Beckford and say, let me show me something. Let me show you guys something, but I think definitely the corner, if they did throw in the towel, nobody would have any arguments against it.
But that's also, remember, these two met yesterday at the weigh-ins. So Beckford knows himself better than
yeah,
training
of course, you know what I mean. But
we see the same thing. It is over and has been stopped.
And honestly, I don't think it's a bad call. One of my pet peeves is courageous corners. And I think the Candyman understood one thing. Let this kid fight another day. He had the power disadvantage. He's on the road, maybe didn't have enough time to prepare fully from a conditioning standpoint. And that fight really, Jason, was only going one way from the very beginning.
Yes, without a doubt, and it shows a lot from the Candyman.
Gilbert Nieves is his real name. I just found out his real name right now.
Yeah.
Gilbert Nieves.
I think it shows a lot for him as a person, to look after a fighter that he doesn't even know. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and the
great
fighter,
point.
you know what I mean? I think it shows him that a good-hearted person, that he's looking out for the fighter and looking out for the fighter's best health.
And I think that young man put on a very good, strong, all-around performance. Command with the jab, power in both hands, the ability to get to the body, and the ability to close off the ring and close distance, I thought, showed a lot of development tonight, Beto. I think this kid's coming along.
And the man with the beard is his brother, Ronnie Rios, all grown up, has a beard, he's married, and congratulations to he and his wife. They have a new baby, Nicholas Reed, all healthy at home. And then tonight, his younger brother, Alexis Rocha, will go back to Santana with 7-0 and his 5th KO. Or stoppage.
This is Rocha now putting on the pressure and digging to the body, and Beckford, beautiful hook over the top, and these are the kind of shots that I think Beckford is like, okay, I don't want to take too many more of these.
One thing I liked, Jason, was the variety of punches. He wasn't just a one-trick pony. It wasn't just a jab. It wasn't just a left cross. Also showed a right hook from the southpaw stance and also uppercuts right up the middle. Very good variety of punches.
Without a doubt, he's definitely looking like a guy that has more than 7 fights right now. He's looking very relaxed, very controlled in there. And I hope he can bring that now as the opponents rise. I hope he can bring that with him, because he definitely is looking right now to be a very good prospect.
The 2-year anniversary of the LA Fight Club. The king of Belasco, Sal Contreras, is not there tonight. He is babysitting his goddaughter, Cynthia, out of Long Beach. What a good padrino you are, sir, taking care of Cynthia. But thanks for watching, as always, on Ring TV Live. Keep the tweets coming. Use the hashtag Ring TV Live. And Alexis Rocha, he has a lot of fans that are there. And on my Twitter, there are a lot of fans out there for Rocha. His style is very fan-friendly.
Fan-friendly. If you could punch like that and you could do it in a stylish manner, that will always sell. It's not easy getting out of a guy. Remember, Marcus Beckford had only been stopped in one fight, and that was from a very highly regarded Philadelphia prospect, Boots Ennis. And in many respects, he kind of matched that performance.
Also, Beckford is a fighter that some people might not put up a 6-0 Alexis Rocha with. Like, some people might say, we'll wait for a guy like him later on in our career, not this early.
You talk to a lot of managers or matchmakers, and you say, you want to face a tall, black, reflexive southpaw? Most will say no. Rocha tonight, I thought, really handled himself with great aplomb.
Team Lex, as they call themselves, go home with another victory, and our ring announcer with a sweet mustache as he's brushing it.
That is nice.
He didn't have it last time we saw him a couple months ago.
The 70s are impressed.
Hey. When you're from Tijuana, you can have a stash like that, the brocha. Our main event coming up next, Christian Chimpa Gonzalez against Ruthless Romero DUNO. They're staying awake in the Philippines watching us. Kumusta to everybody out in the PI. Meta World Peace was there earlier. No tecate for Meta, he doesn't drink. He goes to Whole Foods and he eats very healthy.
And he makes his weight.
Oh. Hey, Jason Quigley, who will headline March 23rd against Glenn Tapia. Also, that is a good card as
Randy Caballero, return.
Yep. I almost said Romel Caballero, but no, it's Randy Caballero returns. Nicaraguan Randy Caballero, a fellow Nicaraguan, and Rene Alvarado will be Saturday night in Verona as he takes on Yuriorki's Gamboa, the return of Gamboa.
And keep this in mind about Rocha, as Doug Fisher points out on a tweet. He's now 7-0 and only 19, continues to improve. Scary to think where a southpaw puncher will be at 22 or 23. So that's another variable, just 19 years old, Beto.
And Dougie, after this fight, Alexis Rocha now has 18 professional rounds. Get that in a week of sparring. As he did work with Peter Petrov for 3 weeks, also worked out with Oscar Molina, the twin, the Mexican Olympian.
Yeah, and Petrov is fighting April 8th against Terry Flanagan over in the UK for the WBO lightweight title.
don't know what they're waiting on because we know that Rocha won. Just gives us a chance to look at the sweet mustache. Beto Duran, Steve Kim, Doug Fisher. Steve, you have a couple podcasts?
Couple of them, the 3 knockdown rule, some guy named Mario Lopez, been on TV a few times, and also the next round with Gabriel Montoya, as you call it, the Montoya factor.
The Montoya factor.
Or as I know him as Slater.
He hates that, by the way.
Does he? Yeah. Well, that's the way I know him.
And still undefeated, Santana, California presente, Alexis Lex Rocha.
Sal Carrillo. Let's go to Carrillo's in the morning. Have some menudo.
Boxing and chill, man.
There you
Boxing
go.
and
That's
chill.
all you need. Alexis Rocha, he will go and enjoy himself a nice meal tonight. What do you do after fights, Quigley?
I love to get together with all my boys and we go out and party it up and have a great time, you know, especially after a long, hard training camp.
Yeah, that means you
know.
go and drink water.
Yeah, of course, because I don't drink.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're the only guy who I know doesn't drink, but you'll go watch Calvin Harris and Tiesto and you'll party like you are drinking.
That is my drink. That is my drug. The music, you know, and that's exactly what I enjoy
That was
most.
the first round knockdown.
That was a great knockdown, definitely, without a doubt. And I was so delighted to see that Rocha didn't go for that shot over and over again after dropping him in the first round. He actually mixed it up and started going to the body because he understood that the guy wasn't that rocked or hurt by it.
I think tonight was a complete performance. Easy to get excited by first-round knockouts. I thought tonight was perfect in the sense that he showed his power, flashed it early, but also got some real work, quality resistance, and eventually just broke a pretty good opponent down. Again, as Doug mentioned, just 19 years old.
Well, Steve, we've seen a lot of fighters over the years where they have that 9-0, 8 KOs, first round, second round stoppages, but they're not getting work.
You know, if you have too many first-round knockouts, that literally means you may not be matched very well. That's the bottom line. If you get a good enough matchmaker, think about it. They had Butterbean at 48-0. Mickey Rourke, I think, has an undefeated record.
Mickey
Okay,
Rourke?
yeah, I went to the Mickey Rourke card, and that is
What?
Yeah, I went there, and Mickey Rourke is still winning fights. See, like I said, if you have a good matchmaker, you could stay upright.
Has half the battle.
Jason, next week I will be in New York for the Gennady Golovkin Danny Jacobs fight. I know that's a fight that interests you, being a middleweight contender
You're
yourself.
really exciting me with all these middleweight fights, Steve.
How much of a shot does Jacobs have in your view?
To be honest, you know, I definitely think he has a shot. If I had a lot of money to put it on somebody, I would be putting it on Triple G. But I think Jacobs has the style. You know, he has a style, he's elusive, and he will definitely cause Triple G problems. But if I had to make a prediction, I would say after the 7th round, I could see a stoppage for Triple G.
I see a performance from Gennady Golovkin that is much like the David Lemieux fight. I think he realizes he's not fighting Kell Brooks, fighting a legitimate middleweight. I think the hand speed of Danny Jacobs is the best he's faced with the combination of power. I certainly think there are some real threats that Danny Jacobs could give Golovkin, but I think after a while, steadiness, physical strength, and I think chin, I think that'll ultimately prove out for Triple G.
You know, of course, I've been watching Triple G and I've been trying to look to see where he has weaknesses. And I think one of the things that you can do with Triple G is he's relentless. You know, he'll keep coming and he'll keep throwing shots and there's no reaction out of him whatsoever. You know, I think the guy that gets in there, they can stand with him, hit him, and hurt him, and make him think twice about coming forward. That's the guy that's going to have a real chance. And of course, a really skillful boxer also that can do both, because Triple G does be a little bit lethargic sometimes coming forward and gets caught pretty easy sometimes. You know, so if you get a good boxer with a bit of a sting in his shots, you know, can definitely cause Triple G problems.
Our main event coming up next, Christian Chimpa Gonzalez, 16-0, 14 KOs. He started his career fighting in Tijuana. Now he's the main event at the Velasco Theater on the 2-year anniversary of the LA Fight Club. He takes on Filipino Romero DUNO from General Santos City, the Philippines. Bethel Duran, Steve Kim, and Jason Quigley. Let's look at the Golden Boy schedule after tonight, March 23rd on ESPN. Quigley and Glenn Tapia. Also, we mentioned Randy Caballero on that card. April 1st, the Cosmo in Las Vegas. That'll be Antonio Orozco, Keandre Gibson. A very interesting fight there, Steve.
And I like that fight. And one note, that fight is, I believe, is at 140. Keep this in mind. The last time Antonio Orozco was supposed to perform, I believe, in mid-December, he had got taken to the hospital, couldn't make the weight. All reports are he will make 140. I think it is a real fight. You got the relentless grinding pressure of Orozco against the slick speed and quickness of Gibson.
Also on that card, Joet Gonzalez and Emilio Sanchez will be squaring off. Mercito Hesta, out of San Diego, also scheduled to be on that card.
And one note about Mercito Hesta, has a new trainer by the name of Frederick Roach. Saw him at the wild card a couple days ago, yes.
Well, you bring the wild card up. Ruthless Romero DUNO has been at the wild card since December, following what his country-mate Manny Pacquiao has done. Go to the wild card, runs Griffith Park. I mean, if it works for Manny, might as well follow the blueprint, right?
You know, Manny Pacquiao's don't come along often. One note about DUNO that I think really makes this an interesting fight, his one loss was to an undefeated Russian fighter, Mikhail Alexiev. Lost in 8 rounds. Other than that, he's been perfect. And also, don't look at just at the wins, look at the knockouts. 11 knockouts. I think this is the best offensive threat Christian Gonzalez has faced thus far in his pro career.
Well, as you wrote about on UCN Live, it's graduation day for Chipa. Will he graduate?
Well, I think he's the favorite in this fight, but I think early on he's the bigger, rangier guy. And the one thing that they have worked on relentlessly the last 18 months, something that you would appreciate, Jason, is the jab. He's got a long limb guy. In the past, I think he's been outboxed. But, boy, that jab makes everything easier, doesn't it, Jason?
Yeah, as I say, you know, it is the key to everything. It opens up the door for your left hooks, right hands, everything, and it dictates the pace. You know, it opens up everything and it dictates the pace, and it keeps your opponent thinking and guessing and not letting him do what he wants.
Our crack staff at Ring TV Live was able to dig up some footage of what it's like to fight in the Philippines. Not in an arena, outside a little bit. Good lighting.
And this much is obvious in looking at DUNO. Gonzalez is not going to need a GPS to find him. I mean, this guy's going to be right in his face and right in his wheelhouse. This should be a fight.
I don't want to judge off the opponent, but I'm just looking at DUNO right now, and he looks to have a bit of power.
Yeah.
And he looks very sharp.
Yeah, he looks pretty quick in there.
He does, definitely, you know. And that's definitely something, you know, that it doesn't matter about the opponent.
Yeah, and Will Wright says that fight is this fight right here you're watching, folks, is at a mall. I thought I saw good fights at the Montebello Town Center growing up. This right here.
Right at the food court, so we can go get some food after.
Boy, they used to battle at hot dog on a stick. It was brutal.
You don't want to take on Orange Julius. You gotta be worried about Chick-fil-A. Not on Sundays, though. And then the Great Western Forum, or the Fabulous Forum, that's where Chipa Gonzalez last week in the ring. I think this fight was around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But a chance to fight on the last card of Bernard Hopkins. You take it.
Yeah, and this was against Jonathan Perez, and he stopped him in 3. And you see here, just steadily coming forward and everything off the jab. Listen, he'll always be a little bit wide, won't be a speed demon. But one thing he has, Jason, that you cannot teach is the eraser. He has naturally heavy hands.
What I like about Chimpa is that, you know, he's a real Mexican fighter. You know, he comes forward with those big looping, hard punches, and, you know, he digs hard to the body and to the head. And, you know, I'm really looking forward for Chimpa tonight. I know him personally, and I'm really rooting for him and hoping he can take that step and level up in his career.
Leveling up against a 12-1 Romero DUNO. Talked to him briefly at the weigh-ins. He said a chance to come and put on a show in Golden Boy's house. You have to take it. Said he knows Gonzalez. So what did he do, Steve? He watches Ring TV Live for critiques and, you know, studying the opponent.
You know, earlier this week, I was at the gym you were at about a week before I was, Sarabia's gym in Pico Rivera. And gyms come...
Gym in quotes.
Come in all sizes, shapes, and colors. This is actually a guest house in the back of a residential area. And that's the gym. They have a ring set up, heavy bag, double end bag. And they actually have some very good young prospects, like Michael Dutchover's been over there giving them some good work. And that is where Christian Gonzalez on a daily basis gets his sparring and gym work.
Well, Peter Petrov was there today sparring Sheer Sports' own David Mijares. Junebug was in there getting some work. So that gym, if you go in there, do not wear long sleeves. You will make weight. It is literally a sauna.
It's something that you know, I look at, and you know, people look at things, and I think boxing, people can look at it as such a Stone Age sport as well, by the way some fighters still train. You know, and so there's a lot of fighters out there that train in such high-tech quality.
Still got to keep it simple, though. This
course,
game has not
you know,
changed in 100 years.
What I was bringing this point up about was I trained with the likes of Joe Calzaghe and everything when I was younger, when I was about 16, 17 years of age in Newbridge. And I remember walking into that gym and I was like, is this where Joe Calzaghe trains?
No frills, huh? No
frills. And you know what it's all about hard work and dedication and the want to be a champion. And it doesn't matter if you're training in a one-bedroom flat, or it doesn't matter if you're training in the high-tech quality gyms. It all depends on the work you put in and how much you really want
let's
it.
just think about Rocky IV.
Exactly. Exactly.
Drago had all these things connected to him. What was Rocky doing?
Siberia. They couldn't even bring in sparring partners. They had to run up mountains, literally.
Literally.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention to the center of the ring, please. Early this week, the world of boxing was shocked by the loss of a longtime friend and a boxing Hall of Famer, Lou Duva. For 30 years, he was a promoter. He was a trainer and a manager of more than a dozen world-class champions. And tonight, we will honor him the way he deserves with a 10 count. Damas y caballeros, su atención al centro del ring. A principios de la semana, uno de nuestros amigos, el mundo del boxeo, se puso de luto con el fallecimiento del miembro del Salón de la Fama, Lou Duva, quien fue por 30 años promotor, manejador y entrenador de más de una docena de campeones mundiales. Y lo vamos a honrar en esta noche como se merece, con las 10 campanadas de acuerdo a la tradición boxística. Thank you very much. We will never forget Lou Duva. Nunca vamos a olvidar a nuestro amigo Lou Duva. Continuamos.
Rest in peace, Lou Duva. Are you ready for the main event? Making his way into the ring first, from
General Santos, Philippines, Ruthless Romero DUNO is making his way to the ring. You heard that voice of the one and only Tattoo. I don't even know if he needs a microphone at the Blasco. There you see him coming in. Cuñado walking him up in that bright red shirt. I really want to. Sandman Boxing is his promotional company in the Philippines. Coming into some LL Cool J. Mama said knock you out, which is, oh, you're going to get Steve Kim's approval. So salama and or kumusta to everybody watching us in the Philippines. Salama would be thank you. So salamat to everybody watching us. Or gracias. Go trilingual here. Well, actually, we got Bally Buffet. That's your own language, right?
That's it. That's a completely different.
Well, you and Mick Collins the other day were listening to some Irish music that there was no English in that. What was that?
That was just.
Man.
That's just pure traditional Irish. It's the same language as English, but just a completely different accent. You would think we were talking Chinese.
It sounded like it. And here he is coming into the ring. His little brother Alda here, walking him in. Chimpa Gonzalez, the ever-present smile on his face. Don't let it fool you. Once he's in the ring, it is all game seriousness for him, but he has that smile. Just a great personality, Steve. You talked to him a lot this past week.
Absolutely has the Colgate smile. 4 bouts in 2006, all scheduled 8-rounders should he get past tonight, according to Robert Diaz, the head matchmaker for Golden Boy Promotions. He will now move up to 10 rounds after tonight, but again, still has business to take care of against Romero DUNO.
Coming into Tigres del Norte, this Chimpa, the man right there with the white hat, that is his father. Chimpa's half-brother is Cobrita Gonzalez, the former world champion. And there you see the man right there with the other white hat, that is his other brother, who is a law enforcement officer now, who had a great amateur career. There was talk about him possibly being a pro. Said no, decided to go law enforcement. He said with a stable career. But he's in his brother's corner. Good family orientation on him. The little kid in the glasses. His little brother Alda here. You talk about a great kid. He will tweet you back and tell you how awesome you are all the time.
That kid is amazing, so he is.
And he loves the sport of boxing.
Every time I see him, he has a handshake for me and a smile on his face. He's a quality kid.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your main event of the evening. Set for 8 rounds of boxing for the vacant WBC Youth Intercontinental Lightweight Championship. Damas y caballeros, este es su combate estelar de esta noche. Pactado a 8 rounds por el campeonato vacante juvenil intercontinental de peso ligero del CMB. En un clásico, México contra Filipinas. In a boxing classic, the Philippines against Mexico. Presentado ustedes por Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions. La mejor cerveza del boxeo, cerveza Tecate Born Bold. Casa México Tequila, it's in the taste. Y Adriana's Insurance, es para todos. Sanctioned by the WBC President, Presidente del CMB, Mauricio Sulaimán. Supervisor in attendance, el supervisor en turno, Mo Nor. Y también sancionado por la Comisión Atlética de California, sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission, Commissioner John Carvelli, Executive Officer Andy Foster, your supervisor, Sean Wells. Your 3 judges scoring this bout in ringside, sus 3 jueces, Carla Kais, Jerry Cantu, y el Dr. Lou Murray. And when the action begins, your 3rd man at the bell, el tercero en la superficie, Thomas Taylor. Ahora bien, amigos que nos acompañan a través de la señal de Estrella TV y los presentes desde el Teatro Velasco en Los Ángeles, California, Estados Unidos. Live from the Velasco Theater in LA, California, USA. Ajusten sus cinturones. Introducing to you first, the fighter standing in the blue corner. He steps in wearing white, gold, and black. His official weight, 134.6 pounds. Presentando ustedes en la esquina Tecate Azul, vistiendo calzoncillo blanco con oro y negro, con un peso de 134.6 libras. As a professional, he stands with an outstanding professional record of 12 wins against 1 loss, and 11 of those wins coming by the way of knockout. Presenta un récord casi perfecto de 12 victorias, 1 derrota y 11 de esas victorias por la vía del knockout. Representing General Santos City, Filipinas, Mahangina Edhino y San Mainina Pakbati, Romero, Sandman DUNO. And his opponent across the ring is standing in the red corner, wearing white trunks with gold and black. His official weight, 134.6 pounds. Y su rival en la esquina Tecate Roja, vistiendo calzoncillo blanco con dorado y negro, con un peso de 134.6 libras. Professionally, he stands unblemished with 16 victories, no losses, and 14 of those victories coming by the way of knockout. Presenta un récord perfecto de 16 victorias, 0 derrotas y 14 de esas victorias por la vía del knockout. Puritita Buena Park, California, el invicto, Christian Chimpa Gonzalez. To give out the final instructions, here is Thomas Taylor. Tercera superficie con ustedes, Thomas Taylor.
Guys, belt line's good here. Belt line's a little hot, coach. Belt line's a little high. I'm gonna let them work in here, all right? I've given your instructions in the dressing room. Protect yourselves at all times. Listen to my commands. Touch them up. Back to your corners.
You're ready to go. Tom Taylor, the third man in the ring. Here's the tail of the tape, Steve Kim.
And both are very young, hungry fighters at the age of 21. And looking at their height, not much different. For the first time, Christian Gonzalez actually looking up at his opponent. Let's see how that affects him here for the next 30, 40 minutes.
We are ready to go. Our main event, 8 rounds in the lightweight division. Beto Duran, Steve Kim, and El Animal, Jason Quigley. Chimpa Gonzalez in the custom Everlast gloves. They're white. Ruthless Romero DUNO, 12-1 from General Santos City with the black gloves. You wonder the nickname Chimpa? What we've said in the past was always got to say it because it's a pretty cool nickname. When he was a toddler, you know that Christmas toy with a chimpanzee is playing the cymbals, going back and forth like that? Well, they had that at his house at Christmas, and he started emulating that, and they're like, oh, he looks like a little chimpanzee. And as you know, with Mexicans, anytime you get a nickname, it will stick with you forever. And that's where the nickname Chimpa, he is now using as his logo and as his brand. An opening round against Romero DUNO. Chimpa 16-0, trained by his father, Oscar Gonzalez Sr. Coming out very aggressive is Chimpa Gonzalez.
Beto, I think early on, this is exactly where Chimpa wants to be. If he's going to be able to establish that jab, I think he'll be content to actually move outside a little bit. But if he can get in close, he's one of those taller fighters, Jason. Despite his build, they seem to be more comfortable inside than on the perimeter.
Yeah, you know, I think he's boxing very well right now. He's establishing his jab, which I said earlier on, I think is key in any fight. You know, I think his punches are definitely looking stronger and more effective than doing his punches right now.
This is Ruthless Romero DUNO. Ruthless because of his style. He just comes at you. We saw that clip of him fighting in the mall in the Philippines. He will stand there with you.
And you know what the problem is right now? He's standing in with Chimpa, who I just really thought landed a very good-looking left hook.
A lot of people watching this fight all over the United States, also in Mexico. The Olympian just signed a Golden Boy, Raul Curiel Garcia. El Cougar, you know him at the gym in Carson, from Tamaulipas, Mexico. He's watching us in Lake Elsinore. He will be making his pro debut on the Canelo Chavez card in Las Vegas. If you don't speak English and you're watching Ring TV, you know you're dedicated to us, Steve.
Some would say you're better off that way. But Jason, I think moving on, I know one thing Chimpa seems to believe that he's a stronger puncher. I think the one mistake he can't make is to continue inside without at least throwing that jab in front of him.
Yeah, definitely. You know, he needs to use that key. He needs to open up the door against DUNO because, you know, nice shot there by Chimpa.
Oh, and he goes down here in the first.
He's definitely hurt. He's
Ruthless Romero DUNO has tagged Chimpa Gonzalez.
Hey, come here.
That's what I was saying.
Right.
earlier on, you know,
He got tagged.
That's why you need the
Tom
jab.
Taylor's looking at him.
Give me your gloves.
Is he going to beat the clock?
Box.
Final seconds of the first round, and he has no idea where he's at.
Big first round there, you know, Chimpa.
And Tom Taylor is looking at him. He is staggering. The doctor's the first one in that ring.
Guys, he left himself a little bit naked for all the offensive success he had. He did not mind his P's and Q's defensively about getting his hands back and at least leading off with the jab, putting something in front of him.
This is going to be very important now, this next minute for Chimpa. I think, you know, that he recovers well from this. He gets everything back and the strength back in his legs because, that was a very good knockdown.
Romero DUNO, 12-1, 11 KOs, Steve.
And Jason, did he make a mistake, Chimpa, in not taking a knee and gathering himself before the mandatory 8 count?
Yeah, without a doubt, you know, but, you know, that just goes to show you how badly hurt that he is as well, that didn't even come into his head.
Trying to listen in on the corner. Second round.
I think Ciampa's legs still look a little bit wobbly right now.
Duno said he was coming for the big upset.
Ciampa can't just keep walking forward and expect to blow this guy out of here.
Keep the hands up.
He needs to get boxing.
You're Duno, what do you do right here, Jay?
Duno has to make sure that he doesn't go for the knockout and blow himself out, because Ciampa obviously is a puncher also and could catch Duno. So this is going to be a very interesting round here now for both fighters.
Well, Steve, as you wrote in your story about Ciampa Gonzalez this week, his first fight with Golden Boy on this same stage, first round, he was dropped.
Right, and he seems to be taking the tactic. He's going to try to smother Duno, not let him unfurl his quick hands from the outside. I do question that, though, but I think the key for him, Jason, is just to see rounds 3 and 4. Just get out of round number 2 as he gathers his legs.
Because Ciampa's just walking forward right again, the same way as he got caught the last time.
Again!
Oh!
Gets caught for the second time. An overhand right by Duno, right on the chin. Drops Ciampa Gonzalez. His eyes are glazed. I don't know if they're going to let him keep going. And it is over. A huge knockout for Romero Duno as Ciampa Gonzalez falls down on his back. A huge upset in Los Angeles.
Guys.
We knew he had some power, but I didn't know Duno had that much.
You know, I'll be honest with you. I think Ciampa early on had success, and I think he fell into the trap, Jason, of believing he was just going to be able to walk through this guy. And I think both those shots that put him down in rounds 1 and 2, I don't think he saw either one.
The clip that we seen of Duno previous, we were saying we weren't taking it off the opponent. We were looking at his hand speed and his thing. You know, the pop that he had in his shots were very, very accurate, very snappy, and very manufactured.
The story I read about Duno, he came to Los Angeles in December when he found out about this fight, and he trained at the Wild Card, did everything Manny Pacquiao did in Los Angeles, and let's look at the replays.
Oh. You know, that's just a beautiful shot, you know what I mean? And, you know, Ciampa, credit to him, you know, tried to get back on his feet. You know, showed heart there to get back up and try to get back up, but you know, just a brilliant shot by Duno.
Jason,
the way he falls.
Yeah, when you don't have your legs and you lose your legs, they're basically lost forever, at least on one night. I thought it was very interesting that Ciampa began round number 2. There's 2 ways you could do it. You could either smother a guy or run around the ring. I think he may, and again, this is 2020. It's hindsight. Jason, he might have been better running around the ring.
He's still on his back. They have a brace around his neck. Ciampa Gonzalez. Duno told me at the weigh-in, Steve, that he had watched a lot of videos of Ciampa and he saw some flaws in him that he would expose. I think that was what he was talking about. Maybe he saw the first fight where Ciampa was dropped a year ago, but that one he recovered tonight, he didn't. As Victoria Duno and Neftali Duno, Kumusta, your son is going back home with his 13th professional victory.
This is something in boxing now that I would like to point out to all the keyboard warriors and everything out there. You know, you don't play boxing. Look at Ciampa Gonzalez right now with a stretcher in the ring. You know, these boxers get in there and they leave everything inside those ropes. You know, no matter what people say or what people do, you know, this is a tough sport, and people put their lives on the line as soon as they step through those ropes.
It's a harsh reality of the game. We were talking about Ciampa, who's still being attended to by the ringside physicians and the paramedics. Perhaps graduating from this platform tonight, he got a dose of reality in shocking fashion. Duno now, all of a sudden, he is a player. He is certainly one to look out for. I still remember when Manny Pacquiao burst onto the scene way back in, I think it was May or July of 2001. He was an unknown fighter, even though he had won a couple of titles. Fought on the Oscar De La Hoya undercard against Javier Castillo and was the opponent to a guy by the name of Lelo Ledwaba, who had the IBF 122-pound title. And much like tonight, to a certain degree, he just blitzed Lelo Ledwaba and really, at that point, arrived.
As Joet Gonzalez will be fighting April 1st in Las Vegas, who knows Ciampa Gonzalez well. They're no relation, but he knows him, sends me this message. Ciampa was slow. He needed to keep his hands up. He didn't do that at all. He never recovered from the first round. Great observation by the undefeated Joet Gonzalez.
You know, Ryan Scalia tweeted at us here, said that was a different Duno than the one that fought Alexiev in Russia. Wild card camp under his belt, huge difference. Again, iron sharpens iron.
Well, Steve, to bring up the point of Duno's fight in Russia. I watched a little bit of that, the part I could find, and I asked him, was that a dirty fight? He said, yeah, I was headbutted early, I was cut. I didn't really have my equilibrium in that fight in Russia. He said, I learned a lot about that fight, and this is a kid. You only saw a round and a half. At the age of 21, that power is real.
One thing, as Jason pointed out, though, it's one thing to have power, but his hands are very fast. So, Jason, you don't see the power, which makes it even more effective.
And this is exactly what I pointed out. The shots that he hit Ciampa with were knockout shots.
That he didn't see.
Exactly. They weren't shots that are just big, hard, powerful shots. These speed kills. And that's just proven there tonight.
Jason, you said it at the end of the first round, the start of the second round, after Ciampa came out, you said he doesn't have his legs.
Yeah, you know, I seen him walking up and his legs were a bit gone. And he just carried on the same as the first round, just walking forward against a guy that just dropped him and they can punch hard. But then again, it's easy for us to look at it because Duno, regardless, was going to chase Ciampa down there. You know, so it was give or take. Whatever Ciampa was going to do, it could have ended up the exact same way.
Ciampa Gonzalez, his dad, Oscar Gonzalez Sr. It's a boxing fan. We mentioned his half-brother is Alejandro Cobrita Gonzalez. So they've been there. They know what it's like when you lose and you got to get back up there. And see, I think you wrote this in your story that it was graduation day, but you had to pass.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. And tonight he certainly did not get his diploma. This is a very, very tough sport. And, you know, I know people are going to be critical of the matchmaking. I kind of laud it. If you're going to go on to that next level, I want to see you. If you can't beat a Duno, who maybe he's the guy that's the real prospect. Now, I think we need more fights of this nature. I think a lot of fighters are baby all throughout the process, and they're also not tested. And, you know, the one thing about Christian Gonzalez, the first round I thought he believed he could overpower Duno. I thought he was having a lot of success. Then he got hit with that shot. He didn't see. And Jason lost his legs.
57 segundos en el round número 2, declarando el ganador por la vía del knockout. We have the official time at 57 seconds in round number 2. Your winner by the way of knockout. And new WBC Youth Intercontinental Lightweight Champion. El nuevo campeón mundial juvenil intercontinental de peso ligero del CMB. General Santos City, Filipinas. Romero. Sandman Duno.
There were a lot of stories written about Duno that I was able to find in the Philippine newspaper. His entire promotional company, there you see Sandman Boxing, came with him. 4 members flew in today just for this fight. Steve, go back to what you said about matchmaking. Why would somebody be critical of it? Because you can only fight at Velasco for so long.
Right, and at the end of the day, if you're going to go onto a platform, and again, we all know about Golden Boy Series with ESPN, if we want to see quality fights on that particular network, you better have fighters that are seasoned, and beyond that, you better have fighters that have proven something. It's one thing to hit slow pitch softball. Can you hit live pitching? And I don't know if this is the end of Ciampa. Again, we have to check him out medically. But this is certainly now a step in the positive direction for that man, Romero Duno.
This is in the first round, I believe. What do you see, Jay? Go ahead.
No, Ciampa pushing on, putting the pressure on. But you see the sharp, crisp shots coming from Duno. But there's Ciampa, you know, landing heavy shots. You know, and that's what I think. Look at that.
He landed that in the first.
You know, and he was doing very well. He was winning the round up until the knockout. And look
he got caught. That's the first time we see the replay.
Just a short right hand right from the elbow. And the other thing that set that all up and it allowed it to happen, Duno had a chin. Other guys in the past against Ciampa have basically been so devastated by punches, they can't do this type of stuff.
You know, that there's the kind of, that there's real power.
Hey, can we run it back to where the knockout happened, the first one? Because it happened so fast. This is the second one. That's the one, the end of the night.
These are the kind of shots that just dropped you. You see everything drop. You know, it's not as if he's hurt or wobbled. He's just gone.
Yeah.
The bodies, huh?
Yeah. And Beto, go back to that last sequence, overhand right, short overhand right. If you're going to land or lean on a guy like the way Ciampa was, you got to be all the way inside.
And let's look at the first knockdown. This is, as you said, Jason, Ciampa was controlling that round.
Yes, he was one on the...
caught that. If we rewind it a little bit before that, because I think Chimpa landed a shot.
Here we go.
Here we go, into that corner.
There's the shot Chimpa landed, you know, and then boom.
Oh,
but you
wow.
see the way Chimpa dropped his lead hand coming in. He was looking for the right, dropped the lead hand, and got caught.
And the other issue is you got to know when to punch at a certain distance.
Yeah.
In that particular sequence, Chimpa got caught in no man's land. You got to be able to punch where you're much more susceptible to hit the guy than not being hit, and I think that's exactly what happened to Chimpa. And then the second knockdown, again, if you're like I said, if you're going to lean on a guy, you got to be all the way on that shoulder to be able to smother that right hand.
You need to be protected at all times, you know what I mean? And you need to know your whereabouts at all times, you know, and that's exactly.
And here is the shot that ended the night. He stood up, beat the count. It's going to be a right hand.
Bang. See, his left hand was not up, and he also gave DUNO some airspace to allow him to basically throw that can opener right hand.
He has no idea where he's at right there. A lot of heart to even get up, but Tom Taylor, veteran referee, stops it immediately, but that's the scary part where he just falls back.
No, as I said previously, my wishes go out to Chimpa. I hope he recovers well, and, you know, God bless him and his family.
Well, little bonus action earlier in the night. Nico Valdez went 4 rounds with Alejandro Osuna. Jack Reese, the third man in the ring. You see the teletape.
And we take a look at the way they both stand up, and actually there is a bit of a typo. According to you, Alejandro Osuna is 30 years old.
Minor details, minor details. 20 is the new 30, or 30 is the new 20, regardless. Beth Duran, Steve Kim, we are underway. 4 rounds in the super middleweight division between Nico Valdez and Alejandro Osuna. Valdez with the he's out of Miami. The babyface assassin? No. Babyface Nico Valdez. You know, babyface assassin. Great names of other fighters in past years. Valdez, extremely popular on social media. You will see him on Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter. It's actually where he was discovered by Oscar De La Hoya. He saw his workout videos and said, check it out down in Miami. Check him out. Say, hey, this is the real deal. He's now 3-0 with 3 KOs.
Beto, we mentioned Alejandro Osuna with the record of 4-2. This is noteworthy. In Nico Valdez's prior 3 fights, 0-4 combined record. So this is the first, I guess, semi-live body he's faced in his professional career.
The last time he was Valdez was in the hospital. He was not going to get the fight. He destroyed his opponent. Let him go. Stay sharp. To the body of Osuna. Stop that. My brain.
Variety, but Beto, I like his approach. He's certainly the heavy, prohibitive underdog tonight. He's going to empty the bucket early, something we have not seen from Valdez. And given the matchmaking he's received early on, is any type of real professional resistance. I think this is the most aggression he's faced thus far in his early professional life.
There you go, the body. There's all the minutes to go in the opening round. Looking to the right. Body work from Osuna.
One thing that's noticeable about Osuna, he's going to throw a lot of right hands, but it's a wide looping right hand. And Valdez, as long as he keeps that left glove right above his chin area, he should be able to parry and deflect most of those shots.
Valdez with the Miami area. Hurricane fan, Steve. Points with you.
Always about the you. And right now, I'll be honest, in terms of matchmaking, this is probably like playing the third technique. He's but Osuna, I think, really has actually made it pretty difficult here in round number 1.
Good opening round.
We take a look at some of the action from the opening stand. Osuna tried very hard at times with his offensive salvos. Not a lot of precision or technique. The good, hard, clean punches, for the most part, in round number 1, landed by that young man, Nico Valdez.
Pedro Otoño is his trainer. Translate that for you, jab.
The most basic, simple punch in boxing. You know, you talk about his training situation, Beto, in Miami, Florida. There used to be a time a long time ago with the Dundee brothers, most notably Muhammad Ali at the 5th Street Gym, historic place. There was an active fight culture. I'm not so sure that really exists anymore in the 305. I just wonder about the quality of work that Valdez gets on a daily basis.
You mentioned the 5th Street Gym. That's actually where Nico Valdez used to train at. He recently opened up his own gym. Now you can't buy a membership. It's a private gym just for him. Steve, you love the name? It's called The Crib. Not MTV Crib. Guess why?
Because that's his house.
No, because he's the baby face. So the crib, like the rattle, the baby inside the crib.
Well, you could say he's also being fed Gerbers early on in his pro career. Once
that was
again,
solid food for him.
Yes, as Bernard Hopkins told me long ago about David Reed when they talked about a fight early in his career, said, Kim, you don't feed steak to a baby.
Nico Valdez, father, Belgian mother, was at one point in his life 5'5", 200 pounds. That was junior high. He said he was getting bullied and he tried jiu-jitsu and he was watching a Manny Pacquiao fight and heard how much money Pacquiao was getting paid. He said, let's go to boxing. Here he is as a professional in his 4th fight with Golden Boy.
But for this fight, he is technically a super middleweight, which has a weight limit of 168. Just sizing him up, I don't really know if he really fits this weight class, if he's better served at 154, perhaps even 160. I think that's something he's going to have to figure out as the matchmaking becomes a little bit more advanced going into the near future.
Yes, Linus, we saw all your earlier tweets.
Boy, Linus is the Iron Man. I literally think he's watched every single round of this series. And by the way, tonight we have the Tecate on Ice celebrating our 2-year anniversary.
Happy anniversary. Will Wright, David and Scott Tatro, and everybody involved with Golden Boy Media and Entertainment. Little project. They started with the van. Now they have a truck. This is Boxing Guru. He is the t-shirt company checking in. Day 1. Ryan
Scalia, VCN Live, one of the bright minds of boxing. Yes, absolute bird dog.
Watching us in Western Canada. I love when the tweets in Spanish. Those me off the Canadian speaking Espanol. Shot landed. Weekend of boxing, kicking it off for you right now. Velasco Theater, downtown Los Angeles. That's where they're at right now. Final second of the second. Two winded fighters here.
Returns here to downtown LA, the Velasco Theater. LA Fight Club. Get your tickets on your way out right here, Velasco box office.
Can we take a look at some of the action?
To the derecha le están dejando
Gotta let him go when I say let him go.
You've been doing your running?
He's definitely coming forward and closing the gap on his opponent. He's probably up 2-0 after 2, Beto.
Scheduled for 4 rounds. Later on, we're going to be joined by an animal, Jason Quigley, who headlines ESPN on March 23rd at the Fantasy Springs Resort and Casino in Indio, California. The first series on ESPN with Golden Boy Promotions. He'll be joining us later in the broadcast. Tonight is the man from Donegal, Ireland. Right now, third round of action. Nico Valdez, Alejandro Osuna. Working towards our main event tonight of Chimpa Gonzalez and Romero DUNO. Nico Valdez said he's very popular on Instagram. Yes. He calls himself the self-proclaimed Justin Bieber of boxing, as Marco 311 reminds me. And when you speak with Nico Valdez, very charismatic young man, mentioned to me yesterday, hey Nico, come on, you're gonna grow up, you get the Bieber name. He's like, I'm gonna Peter Pan of boxing. I'm never growing up.
My reaction is Jiminy Cricket. Really.
Tee Steve up and let him go.
Well, you know, he's going to have to make a decision here. Is he going to be serious about the game of boxing, or is it a vehicle for other things? You know, the athlete that comes to mind where it was much more sizzle than steak. You remember a very famous tennis player was Anna Kournikova.
Oh, yeah.
Now, she was very good looking. She had a very unique look. You know what she never did, though? Never won a tournament. There really wasn't that much substance to her career. Right now, it's really too early to understand exactly where Nico Valdez is going with this. You mentioned the last round that he was already winded. I find that to be alarming, that in a two-round fight where it's not exactly the fastest pace, that he's already breathing pretty deeply. And you see what's going on here, Beto. His technique is already starting to break down. You know, that old saying from Vince Lombardi that fatigue makes cowards of us all. In this sport, what it really does, it starts to really take away your fundamentals.
Nico Valdez came from the boxing. His opponent, Alejandro Osuna, 4-2 from Mazatlán, Sinaloa. He's a marketing director, social media strategist for a firm in Culiacan. As he said, boxing is fun. It's my hobby.
Well, Beto, maybe after this fight he could help maybe work for Nico Valdez.
Well, it just shows his hobby. So Osuna's looking good conditioning-wise. Valdez, who only has one thing to do, which is train and make weight. Actually, has two things. Yeah, we'll talk about weight later on. Plenty of weight talk around here. Osuna, he had about 20 amateur fights as a kid.
And that's not really all that rare. A lot of Mexicans actually learn on the job as they go. Orlando Salido being, I think, the quintessential example of a guy that learned on the job and really evolved as a fighter throughout the years. You know, Nico Valdez, the one thing I do notice about him, he does have fairly heavy hands. He slaps a little bit with that left hand. Doesn't really move his feet all that well underneath him as he really comes forward with that left cross.
You see some of the body work showing the results on the side of the Mexican Alejandro Osuna. A big welt on the left side of Osuna. Left. I think he's slapping it. Yeah. He gets hit with one. Lands with that right. Final seconds of the third round. Nico Valdez, Alejandro Osuna.
Ese es el round. El round se lo ganaste. Agarra aire, mijo. Agarra aire, que es el último ya.
Now we take a look from the action from round number 3. Probably another one put in the bank for the southpaw out of Miami, Nico Valdez. Osuna started out quickly here, but his work rate has waned the last 2 rounds as we head into the 4th and final inning. Beto?
4th and final round for Nico Valdez. The babyface, the Peter Pan of boxing, Steve Kim's guy, because he's from the U in Miami. He has been tested in this fight. Been hit. Valdez turned professional April of last year. A first round KO, then he had a 4th round stoppage. In his last fight against Willie Williams, a 1st round stoppage.
Beto, to put this into perspective, the last bout for Osuna was December 12th. He was knocked out 2 by Rudy Garuga, local prospect out of the Southern California area. I get the sense this fight will see the distance. And I think it's valuable experience for Valdez, but again, are we seeing the technical improvement you expect 4 fights in?
Left hand by Valdez.
Yeah, that seemed to be like a two-handed slap.
Yeah. Those Three Stooges.
I think Osuna's more irritated than impressed by Valdez, to be quite honest with you.
He's able to land that left, but Osuna blocks it for the most part. They are deflected. You mentioned, Steve, going back to Miami. How much of sparring is he really good
Well,
at?
listen, I've seen a lot of fighters, and I'm doing this more and more. You're only going to be as good as your sparring. Now, these sessions don't need to be gym wars. So there is a fine line between getting good work and actually damaging yourself. But especially for young fighters, I have a theory. I talked to, who is it, Mick Conley, who's making his pro debut next week.
Oh, good left by Valdez. He's trying to finish this fight right now. Osuna's hanging tough with him. Jack Reese right on top looking.
And Beto, you see some of the greenness of Valdez, and most of those punches actually miss. He needs to just take a step back and actually place his shots, be a little bit more deliberate with them, and try to work more on accuracy than actual volume. But I tell you one thing, Osuna looks very worn out with about a minute to go.
You were saying Mick Conley,
Mick Conley specifically moved out here like the guy sitting next to us, Jason Quigley, for the work, the type of daily work you're going to get 6 to 8 weeks before a fight. And you know what?
And that is it. It is over. Jack Reese jumps in. Nico Valdez, with 40 seconds to go in the fight, ends it for Alejandro Osuna. Kid from Miami is now 4-0 with 4 stoppages, but he had to work for it tonight.
No, he did. He actually got a little bit of professional resistance. Osuna started off very quickly with his punch output, but then he was slowly worn down by the strength and I guess the advantage and power of that man, Nico Valdez. But I think certainly this is a work in progress for this young man out of Miami. And this is the finishing salvo here. That was a good body shot. Good right hook downstairs. Straight shot over the top, and then Jack Reese at that point basically told him, young man, you ran out of gas.
And Beto Duran, Steve Kim, who's mentioned, the man's going to join us the rest of the broadcast tonight, making his broadcast debut, suited and booted, as Pitching tweeted. Jason El Animal Quigley. Now, you know Nico a little bit. What do you think of his 4 rounds tonight?
Nico did exactly what was expected of him tonight. I just came in there in the last 2 rounds, so, you know, I thought he did what he had to do tonight against an opponent that it looked like that he was meant to get out of there early on, and that's exactly what he did. You know, it might have took him a few rounds, but those rounds will definitely stand by him, and, you know, it was nice, obviously, for himself, confidence-wise, to get the stoppage in the last round.
Jason, take us through this last sequence right here.
Well, obviously, Nico Valdez's opponent's very hurt right now, and you know, Nico's following up, as you said.
And ladies and gentlemen, referee Jack Reese stops this contest officially with 2 minutes 16 seconds in round number 4. Declare your winner by the way of knockout. The hard-hitting knockout artist, the babyface, Nico Valdez.
23-year-old Valdez is now 4-0, 4 KOs. A busy weekend of boxing. The 2-year anniversary of the LA Fight Club. Beto Duran, Steve Kim, and Jason Quigley. Oh, what a night of action. That started off with Cisco Esparza, unanimous decision for the fighter out of Las Vegas. He improved to 6-0. Then after that, Mexico's Marvin Cabrera, trained by Ponce de Leon, he got the stoppage. He is now 3-0 with 3 KOs. Here's Marvin Cabrera. Then after that, Nico Valdez from Miami had to work for it. Went to the 4th round, and late in the 4th, he got the stoppage over Alejandro Osuna. Osuna, 30-year-old marketing director, was very game and landed some shots, but at the end, too much Nico Valdez. And then in the opener at 7 o'clock, John Leon, in a battle of 1-0 fighters, he took it to Angel Bojano and won easily. Alexis Rocha, the 19-year-old of Santa Ana, got the stoppage over Marcus Beckford after Beckford's corner decided he had seen too much punishment. A 4th round TKO for 19-year-old Team Lex. He's now 7-0 with 5 stoppages. And the stunner of the night in the main event, Romero DUNO, came out with some heavy hands against Christian Chimpa Gonzalez. And there you see the Filipino fighter who was very confident, dropped Gonzalez twice, and that was the first one in the first round. Chimpa never to recover after that, as Christian Chimpa Gonzalez loses for the first time in his career. Romero DUNO improves to 13-1. A great night of action on the 2-year anniversary of the LA Fight Club. For Will Wright leading the ship and everybody behind the scenes, Steve Kim and Jason Quigley, my partners, I'm Beto Duran saying good night and thanks for watching Golden Boy Promotions.